We did it. We're live. It is Cooperville Live. It is the debut episode of the live stream show, and super excited to get this adventure underway. We have a ton of things to get to today, a ton of topics to cover, and a ton of guests will be joining us live here in the stream. I mean, I'm so thankful. I'm so blessed to have so many great friends from the music industry and entrepreneurs and doctors, and just so blessed to have so many people that without actual force, I didn't have to pressure anybody to come on the show, but got a bunch of people that are going to be joining us, and we'll get to that list here coming up shortly. Our first guest coming up in about 28 minutes at 3:30, and that will be my good friend Dr. J. LaGuardia. Really excited to have Dr. J back on. He's been on the Welcome to Cooperville podcast many times. Great insight. Dude's a researchaholic, so he knows what to talk about. We'll talk about some COVID stuff and a whole bunch of other things, but really kind of want to get to the whole premise of this entire program. Was I really felt, and this was after 2 years. It's been 2 years since I got out of radio. It was actually 2 years yesterday. I think I had Steve Stone on the podcast last night, which, by the way, that episode is up on all podcast platforms right now. The video is up on twitch.tv/NoLimitCooper and on the Cooperville YouTube channel. Great conversation with Steve Stone, a voice that you've heard. It's weird. We talked about that last night too, is like, you've heard his voice before because he's on everything. Radio stations across the country. He is on CNN. He is on Fox Sports. So, if you're watching this show from anywhere that has a Fox Sports affiliate, we have Fox Sports Wisconsin here. There's Fox Sports Minnesota, Fox Sports North, Fox Sports Pittsburgh, where he's from. So he's like the voice, Fox Sports Wisconsin. I can't even do Steve Stone. He's so good. But his podcast is up right now. But we talked about a lot of great things last night. And namely is it was a 2 year anniversary of me getting out of radio and finally trying to find something besides the podcast to, I don't know, fill a void. Maybe, I don't know. I feel like I need to talk. And during this whole COVID thing, I've taken on a bunch of different jobs where I'm usually secluded. I'm usually all by myself, like in a corner somewhere out in the woods, not talking to anybody. I'm like, I talked for 20 years straight. And I mean, oddly enough, I wasn't sure if anybody was listening for those 20 years. Maybe they weren't. Maybe that's why I got out. But really wanted to put together something where it was a real conversation piece, because I think too often people get into kind of niche things. You go and you want to listen to something about sports, and that's really all it's about. Maybe there's some slice of life stuff and some entertainment things on there as well. But really, if you want to talk about politics, there's places to go for politics. If you want to talk about, I don't know, whatever topic XYZ you want to talk about, aliens, which we're going to cover a lot on this program. There's always like a niche thing for it. So you can go and specifically find one spot to go and listen to that particular topic. What I wanted to do here was have conversations, not just between you and I, because whatever you're listening or wherever you're watching this on, I see we got some viewers on here already. You'll be able to jump on the comment section, whether you're on Twitch or if you're on Facebook Live or if you're on YouTube. You can actually jump on and jump in the comments, and we can include your comment in the conversation. So, we'll get to more of the details on that. But really, how normal people have conversations is normally is not on one specific topic. It's not on one thing, and you just have a conversation for, this is a 3-hour daily program on that one topic. Granted, it's a little easier in a field like sports, where you can kind of cover different sports and you can localize it, and you can go from, the high school level to collegiate to professional and beyond. But it's all on that same avenue. What I wanted this to be is really an open form conversation about any and everything, including you, wherever you're watching. To be able to jump on and comment and be a part of it, ask questions of me, ask questions of the guests. If there's a topic we're talking about and you want to throw your 2 cents in, that's what this is all about. Open forum, have the conversations. So we're going to talk about a lot of things. Some things are going to be incredibly stupid. Let's be honest. I like stupid things. it's been like the last 5 podcasts that I've done, at some point or another, the alien thing has come up. The whole, they snuck it into the last coronavirus relief package. You know, the one where like a shit ton of money went to like other countries and we got like that much, got your $600. But somewhere in that bill, like the last line, a little added, I don't know if it's on a Post-it note, like somebody wrote like, hey, I have an idea. Let's make sure we get aliens as part of the coronavirus relief package. So according to that document, in 180 days from the signing, when former President Trump signed that, the Pentagon has to release all their information on UFOs or whatever. There's another acronym for them now, but so all the stuff that they have, all the stuff that's been researched and kept under the cover of darkness and conspiracy theories, all this stuff is supposed to be released. So we're going to talk about aliens and shit, but we're going to talk about other things. We're going to talk about music. I got a lot of great friends in the music industry. A bunch of them joining us today. I can't wait to catch up with some of those guys. Everybody's been struggling during this whole pandemic, and depending on which state you live in, some are suffering more due to lockdowns and shutdowns and other bullshit. But it'd be great to conversate with them. Lisa jumping out. Like our first comment of the first show. Lisa, love the hat. 2 different shirts from them. Yes. Lions Not Sheep. That's what Sean Wallen. Yeah, I got the hat. I got a hoodie. I got a shirt, Lions Not Sheep Savage shirt. Good stuff. I'm also rocking my grunt wear, a grunt style. That's what that stuff is. Golf, Foxtrot, Yankee. For those of you who are military, you'll understand what that means. But I don't mean it towards you. It's just a general statement. I like to wear it out in public, even though it's 14 fucking degrees below zero here in Wisconsin. I like to wear it out in public and let people like, gasp. That means something naughty. But no, anyway, so this show, Cooperville Live, is really going to be a lot about just open form conversation about any topic that happens to be out there. Sean Wayland, yep, that's right. So I encourage you, to become a perpetual watcher of the show. Again, we're streaming live on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitch. What will happen after the show is I'm going to kind of slice and dice the audio up from the show, and then we'll release that on podcast platforms. That will be available wherever you can get the Welcome to Cooperville podcast. So you'll be able to check out hour by hour, and then we may even break it down into we're doing like 10 to 20 minute conversations with our guests on the daily basis. So if you just wanted to hear, what Dr. J has to say, or Dan Marcon of Marc-On Shooting, who's coming up today, you can just, strategically listen to that. So it'll be broken down, and obviously the video will live on the Facebook page. YouTube will obviously have it. And then on Twitch, we'll be doing some clips. So you'll be able to watch just like a 10-minute section of it, or 20, or however long you want to. So a lot of different ways to get this out into people. And hopefully, if you're watching right now, if you could do me a favor and share the video, get it out to your friends. Hopefully during the course of today and every other day that we're doing this, we'll touch on a topic that is near to you or dear to you, or that you just enjoy having. I feel like we've gotten away a little bit from having not just enjoyable conversation, but actual dialogue between human beings, because a lot of times we get caught up in back and forth on social media. Oddly enough, yes, we're running the stream on social media until they kick us off. But I think opening things up to have conversation about maybe not all the time, but sometimes we're going to talk about some of the more difficult topics and things that, maybe aren't all smiley faces and thumbs up, because I think we really need to have some of those conversations in the crazy ass world we're living in right now. Cause it's, depending on what your eyeballs are on, cause some people are completely oblivious to the crazy shit that's going on, not only in the world, but more locally in our country. So we're going to open up some of those conversations and hopefully not piss too many people off. But if we do, grunt style, my boys. So as far as today's show goes, we have a lot of fantastic guests. Really excited to have conversations with people I haven't talked to in a long time. and some I've had recent conversations with. A lot of these people have been on the Welcome to Cooperville podcast before. So if you wanted to jump on that and then have a chance to really listen to an in-depth, long form conversation with some of these guys, you definitely can. I mentioned Dr. J. LaGuardia. He's going to be coming up here in about 20 minutes. We have Dan Marcon of Marcon Shooting. He's going to be in. Lots of, if you're a gun owner or if you're thinking about being a gun owner, 2020 was an insane year for gun ownership. I never was, and Dan knows this, up until 2020. Yeah, it was 2020. I never owned a gun. I mean, I didn't, my grandfather hunted. My dad didn't hunt. Therefore, I really never fell into, the category of hunter. I think one time when I was very young, I was out at my aunt and uncle's land out of Menominee, and we were shooting. They were shooting clay pigeons. It lived way out in the country, so this wasn't like there was no danger, and this was back when danger was okay. So it probably didn't matter anyway. Could have been in the city limits. I don't give a shit. But I remember they were out shooting clay pigeons, and me and my other two cousins were like, "Oh, what's going on here? Let's go and check this out." So they end up kind of, showing us the ropes, and I think it was a 12 gauge shotgun. And I think for the next year I had a shoulder injury because I was like, knee high to a grasshopper and about as strong as the, not very strong, about as strong as a grasshopper. But yeah, that was probably the only time I ever fired a weapon. And then 2020 came, and I think just with the environment, with the way the world was, and being a dad and not knowing how things were going to go, I made my first firearm purchase, and Dan Marcon will join us, and we'll talk about that and some crazy, if you're into like legislation and stuff, as a gun owner, or maybe not even as a gun owner, but somebody who does have respect for the Constitution and the Second Amendment. We'll talk about HR 127, which is just been introduced in Congress, I believe today. That just came out. Lots of things to talk about there. Mike Protich, my longtime friend from his Red Sun Rising days, meeting them at Rockfest over in Cadott, and then him and I carrying on conversations on the podcast and following each other on social media. His new project, The Violent, has got some great freaking music out there. Fly on the Wall. I just posted something. If you don't follow me on Instagram, it's at No Limit Cooper Official. In my stories, I just posted kind of a behind the scenes picture, or a video, I should say, of what this setup kind of looks like, and included Fly on the Wall, a clip of that on there. So go and check them out. But Mike will be on. Matt Jymmy James, Blacktop Mojo, my friend. This is going to be a great story that I'm going to bring up once he jumps on. So they released a single to radio. This was probably 4 years ago, 5 years ago. I'll get him to send the exact date. So as a program director, bands, when they would release a song, sometimes they would send out, t-shirts and hats and maybe a picture. And if we were playing the song, they'd be like, "Hey, thanks for playing our jam. We really appreciate it." And so I got, a closet over here that's full of band swag that I need to get up on the walls down here in the studio. But they had the most genius idea when they released one of their songs, or maybe it was their album. I think maybe it was their album, Burn the Ships. I got the t-shirt. I got a signed. They put together a whole photograph, and it was the entire band, like in a hotel room, like in one bed, like one of those morning after things. And everybody's like, half crocked, falling out of bed and stuff, smoking cigarettes and watching Captain Kangaroo. But they also sent along a bottle of this fine, what the hell is this? Texas Silver Star whiskey. And I've had this ever since. And I told him, we were supposed to meet up at Rockfest this past year in 2020, obviously that being moved until 2021. I told him I was going to hang on to this until I saw him in person, and we were going to drink it together. But this may have to do. Like, today may have to be the day where we're just like, fuck it. I mean, he's got a show tonight, so maybe he won't, but I may partake. You never know. This is an FCC violation. It's all good. So Matt Jymmy James, the Blacktop Mojo's coming up. My bearded brother from another mother, Phil Norvold of Max-Bilt Off-Road and Manufacturing. My Jeep guy, my off-road guy, dude's doing epic things, and we're gonna have a great conversation with him about possibly epic things. Ooh, it's a teaser. He was actually the one that I was contemplating, 2 years ago after I got out of radio. I was contemplating this whole thing. I was like, One time I tried growing a beard, and that was when the Packers went to the Super Bowl 10 years ago. I did one of those playoff beard things like, well, they got into the fucking playoffs, so now I'm not going to shave until they win the Super Bowl. Well, they won the Super Bowl. So that's let's see, wild card weekend, divisional, championship, 1 week in the Super Bowl. So 6 weeks, no shaving. And it made me realize that perhaps the bearded life was not for me. I was like, no, I would have been, 30 at the time. Maybe this isn't for me. But he's the one that convinced me when I was reconsidering, 10 years later, maybe I'd grown into myself a little bit, maybe a little more manly at the time. But he said, no, just give it 90 days, give it 3 months, no shaving, and then we'll make an evaluation. And the beard came in, and Captain Coop's Beard Company was established, 6 months later, and here we are now, a year and a half to 2 years after that. So Phil is on the show. Adrian Patrick, my great friend from the band Otherwise. I remember we have great stories that we shared on the podcast that I had him on about the first time we met and sneaking them drinks. And there was a golf cart that was borrowed, not stolen. It was borrowed because they return it. But great stories with Adrian and the guys from Otherwise. He's going to join the show. I think he's out east. He's normally hanging out in Vegas, but I think he's spending COVID out east. So we'll talk to him. Lots of cool stuff with those guys. Jymmy Tollard of the Lonely Ones, formerly of Bobaflex. Jymmy is going to be on. They just released a new single today. It's called Change the Station, which I think is really fitting. If it wasn't for the whole rules and regulations of live streaming and not being able to play licensed music, we'd be able to jam that for you. But unfortunately, we do not have those capabilities. So, but definitely go and check out the Lonely Ones. Change the Station is their new tune. It just came out today. We'll talk to Jymmy about that. Neal Middleton of Royal Bliss is going to be on the program today as well. Now we got a ton of guests. Long time friend. Dude's just a fantastic human being. I think he's doing 75 hard again. Have you heard about 75 hard? It's like 75 days straight, 2 workouts a day, no booze. You got to eat right. You got to take a picture of yourself every day. There's a bunch of things you have to do for like 75 days, and it changes your life. I think this is like a second or third time doing 75 hard. So we'll talk to him about that. They also have a show tonight. So there's shows going on. And, you feel like you just haven't been able to get out and see a concert or go out and do much. Some places, they're having shows. Like I said, Blacktop Mojo is doing a show tonight. So we're going to talk to Matt in between load in and taking the stage. And then Neal's got a show tonight as well. So kudos to those guys for getting out. I know a lot of bands haven't been able to do those things, but sometimes they're getting to a point where they're like, fuck it, let's just go out and, see what happens. Vince Ebertz from Nuisance, band out of Minneapolis. Vince and I go back a long time. Like when I first got into radio, I started this thing called Cooperfest, which was like this local regional band kind of mini festival. We did like 3 days. It was just a shit show. It was just a blur of everything. But Vince and his band Nuisance played every year of Cooperfest, and then eventually caught up with him many years later when they were playing over at Rockfest, and we kept in touch. And I saw him. He's busting out some beats and some rhymes on Facebook. He was posting some stuff, and I'm like, dude, get on the show. We're starting this live thing. It's going to be crazy and stupid, and it may suck, and it may only last one episode, but I want to get you on here doing some rhymes. So he's going to jump on. We'll chat with him, and he's going to do a little jams for us. So we're looking forward to that. And last but certainly not least, Mitch Arnold, my great friend from the band Wayland. It's been forever since I spoke to him. It's been so long. This is a kind of a funny story, maybe. So on his birthday, I sent him a text. I'm like, hey, Mitch, just want to say happy birthday. Hope your day's great. They're out in Joshua Tree, California. So I made sure it was like not too early. And apparently he changed his number. We're still close, but he changed his phone number. But I texted him, and the person who has his phone number now was like, I'm sorry you have the wrong number. So I said something to the effect of, well, when it's your birthday, my friend, a happy birthday to you. They didn't respond. They probably blocked me from their phone. So that's what are you going to do? So Mitch will join us from Wayland. He wanted some extra time because they got a whole bunch of stuff going on in Wayland camp again out there in California. Again, if you are watching, first off, thank you, whatever platform you're on. If you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, Also on Twitch. If you are on Twitch, please make sure you follow No Limit Cooper on there, because you get updates every time we go live, and every time we do a live podcast, everything we posted on there. Then that's where we can also do like little mini clips of the show. So you don't have to watch it in its entirety. You can just go to like, oh, and like 15 minutes in, he was talking to so-and-so. So definitely follow me on Twitch. If you don't have the Twitch app, it's free to download. And then you just go and search for No Limit Cooper, hit the follow button, and then you get updated every time we go on here. Kind of a crazy app. I know a lot of people are like, Twitch, what the hell is Twitch? It kind of started off as a gaming app. So those who are in the gaming universe, you can game and you can kind of have your thing up there, and you can live stream your Call of Duty. My buddy Dustin, the guy who cuts my hair and cuts my beard, big gamer, Fade Game official. So he's on there. He convinced me like Twitch is kind of this new revolutionary platform for things like this. Because if you're on there, you can jump on and you can make comments like Matt did. He did it on Facebook though. Nice beard, thank you. That's my cousin Matt, brother from another mother, who has had a really shitty week. Man, dude, I went. My son was in town. My son was here for 5 or 6 days. So on Sunday we went over and went out to a park, and my son tried ice skating for the first time. My cousin Matt was there, and his wife Jen, and their kids, and it was great. We got a chance to be on the hang. The next day at work, breaks his fucking leg. Like, dude, we were making plans for the summer. He'll be healed by then. We're making plans for like the next couple weekends. Like, hey, I'm getting a dumpster. Let's like throw some shit away. I'm like, yeah, cool. Like, let's go have season, whatever. Next day breaks his leg. And today ended up having surgery. Went successfully. Obviously you got nowhere to go. You can sit here and watch every single episode of this because you can't go anywhere. But congratulations on congratulations. Is that the right thing to say? Way to go on your successful surgery. I'm glad the doctors didn't mess it up. Just make sure you wake up and you make sure they did the right surgery. You're like, you did fix my leg, right? There was nothing else while I was under. You're like, we're going to take care of that problem while we're here. But no, I'm glad that he's home and recovering. 10 weeks of recovery, man. It's all right. I'll be here for you. Well, I don't know. I'll bring you food. I'm told you I'm going to bring you a bunch of bibs too, just because you're going to be like laid up in a chair. I'm like, dude, I'm just going to bring you like those lobster bibs that you put on. I'm just going to bring a bunch of those. Keep your shirts clean. It'll be all good. Matt Huth, my buddy. First Cooper Fest was the best. American Head Charge. That's right. They were there. Other Kill local bands. Yeah, that was, again, Matt. You remember those days? Weren't you were like running security, I think, for that, weren't you? Or you were just hanging out, and I just stood by you because you looked like you should be running security. No, Head Charge. I forgot. That was the first year of Cooperfest. Great times though, man. A lot of great local talent that came out, and I had a couple of guys, Ghosts of the Sun, my two buddies from Ghosts of the Sun. I had them on the podcast a couple podcasts ago. I can't remember off the top of my head which number it was. We talked a lot about, and if you're local, if you're here in the Chippewa Valley, how fantastic and wild the band scene was back then. This was, well before all of the cell phones. And I think we had phones. I think we had, was it before Blackberries, I think. So we had like, this maybe the slides, and we had the old, when you had to text, but you had to press, the number a bunch of times to get to the right letter. It took you forever to text. That was back in those days. And maybe that's why it was so wild and crazy, because nobody was capturing it on film. Such great times though, and a bunch of great talent, and some are still around, some are still doing their thing, and some just gone by the way, moved on, grown up, as they say. Part owner security. Yeah, it was a great time. Dakota, my buddy, happy Friday to you too, sir. Dakota is going to be on the show with Adam Schultz. It's coming up next week. I believe Monday. They're going to be on talking about Adventure Athlete and a bunch of other stuff. So Dakota, good Friday to you as well. Again, wherever you're watching this on, jump in the comments. Let me know where you're watching from. Ask questions. Whatever. We're going to have a full Friday show. 10 guests, I think we have lined up. I'm not a math guy, but yeah, about 10, about 5 minutes away from Dr. J. LaGuardia jumping on here. So lots of things to get to. As far as the crazy week that was, and a lot of these topics I'll be bringing up with some of the guests today, but amongst all the craziness that we're living in right now, things happen and they kind of bring you back to a childhood place. And maybe this is dating myself a little bit, but I think some of you who are watching and commenting right now can reminisce back to this. But Saved by the Bell was on back when I was a wee lad, maybe a little older than a wee lad, maybe a itty bitty lad. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how the echelon of lads go. I'm Irish, but I don't understand the ladder. Saved by the Bell it was a staple in almost everybody's life, and I know they got a new Saved by the Bell again or something. Is there a new one out on Netflix or on some channel? But Saved by the Bell was always like a huge part of childhood. It was just like one of those shows. Like you kind of talked about it in the hallways at school. I'd seen her Saved by the Bell. I mean, Tiffany Amber Thiessen, anybody? Yeah. I mean, that got a lot of guys my age through some hard times in life. She did. We all know what happened to Jessie Spano. She she ended up going and doing Showgirls, and you're like, wait a minute, what? You were the girl from Saved by the Bell. And she didn't do much after that. I don't think that was like her one. It was like a one-hit wonder. But yeah, Dustin Diamond, Screech died this week. Like it was very. He announced. I remember seeing the announcement that he had cancer. And Dustin Diamond's been through some shit. I mean, he's not been living an absolutely glorious life. He's gotten in some trouble, but he's also done some very cool things. I had a buddy of mine who texted me a bunch of cool things. Dustin, he did some wrestling. He did some music. He did like an alternative band thing. So he was like doing a lot of stuff, but obviously, it's not that gets like the publicity. It's when Dustin Diamond gets like busted. Was he in Milwaukee, I think, punching some dude? I don't know. But anyways, a very short period of time between the announcement that he had cancer to like, was it like 4 weeks later that Screech passed away. And that was just, I think when you have those moments, you're like, oh man, you kind of reminisce on childhood. Maybe it gives you a little warm fuzzy because you remember when things were easier. When you were a kid, didn't have to worry about shit like stimulus checks or COVID or employment. None of that stuff. You didn't have to worry about that. You're just like, I just get home and I'll watch Saved by the Bell and fake do some homework and life's good. Yeah. But yeah, Screech dying this week. It was a crazy ass week. The whole Marilyn Manson thing coming out. There's great memes going out of, the picture of Marilyn Manson, and it says, Marilyn Manson turns out to be like a giant douchebag. And then there's like a picture of your mom, like loudly sipping her coffee, like fucking told you so. Yeah. I mean, the Manson thing, that's wild. The Morgan Wallen thing, man. I mean, that shit's crazy. I mean, we're in 2021, dude. I defended Morgan Wallen after his whole escapades before his SNL appearance, because he came out, he was caught on film in like Tuscaloosa at some house party, and then he was during COVID, bad boy, drunk and kissing a bunch of random girls, and then that video goes viral, and then he gets canned from being on Saturday Night Live, and then he comes out and does the apologetic thing, and I'm like, dude, if that's you, then just let it be you. Be like, I don't need SNL. I'm fine. My buddy Wade showed me a picture from like, I think it was December, that somebody else had posted on social media of Morgan Wallen like passed out on a couch somewhere, just like covered in vomit. It was just boots nicely set on the ground. That was one thing I did notice from the picture, besides the gross vomit all over it. His boots really nicely placed. Like he's laying on the couch, his boots are like right on the floor, right in front of him, nicely placed, but he's just covered in vomit, just gross. And then this whole thing from this last weekend comes out, and he's cancel culture. That's the world we're living in now. Boom, done. But I don't know how to read into this. Morgan Wallen on Apple Music, his overall music sales are up 1,220% after everything, the SNL thing, the covered in puke thing, and this major screw up. And his music sales are up again over 1,200% on Apple Music. I don't know. I don't know what to read into it. I'm sure somebody else has a better explanation of exactly what that entails, but alas, here we are. It's a crazy week, though. And the big news from today, Christopher Plummer died. Captain Von Trapp from The Sound of Music. My mother made me watch The Sound of Music many times over, and I hated it. And then I saw it like 30 years later, and then I was finally like, okay, I guess I'm cool with the Von Trapp family singers. But Christopher Plummer passing away today at I think 91. Crazy stuff, crazy week, and really excited because the first official guest, the first one to be on Cooperville Live, is none other than my friend Dr. Jay LaGuardia. Jay, how you doing, sir?
Good, Coop. How you doing, brother? Thank you for having me on, and I'm excited to be the first, man. It's like, it's a milestone.
It is. I feel like I need to like have awards, and send those out, like, or thank you notes, or bottles of whiskey or something. There's something to say thank you for being a part of it.
Yeah, I'll go for the latter.
I figured you would. How you doing, man? I had you on the podcast, which I mentioned in the open a couple of weeks ago. We talked about a lot of great things, but how have things been since then?
Great, man. All's going good. Just focusing on things I can control, and so life is good.
Jay hosts the Power, Passion, Prosperity podcast, which you can check out on all podcast platforms, and follow him on social media, because I know you were taking a personal social media break when I talked to you. You were stepping back from your your personal page, but obviously still doing stuff with the page for your business. But you always have such talking about great things and inspirational quotes and motivational things. Are you still on the break? Are you still is it off the wagon? Are you still off the wagon?
Yeah, I'm still fasting on my personal social media, but at Dr. J LaGuardia is live and active.
That's good, man. That's good. It's been a crazy, we talked almost a month ago, so it's been a crazy 10 months and 15 days to flatten the curve. And we're still kind of all navigating through this. It's been in the state of Wisconsin, it's been kind of a weird week with, repealing of mask mandates, and then mask mandates back in effect, and then city councils and county boards. And, as you look at as you take a step back and you look at what the last almost a year has been, what do you think from you personally, what is the most surprising thing that you've learned maybe about society and the reaction to something like a pandemic and the division that it's caused? What has really surprised you about how everything has gone down the last almost a year?
I think that the thing that has surprised me the most and alarms me the most is how willing we are to give up our freedoms for the pursuit and the illusion of safety.
Yeah.
Because, I want to first acknowledge that COVID's real. I'm not a denier. It's a real virus, but we've been, exposed to COVID viruses since the beginning of time. And you and I spoke a few weeks ago, and I said to you, there's one important statistic that every single human being needs to know. It's that the death rates in 2020 were actually slightly less than they were in 19, 18, 17, and 16. So if the death rate is essentially the same as it's been over the previous 5 years, how is it even possible we're in the middle of a pandemic? When at the same time, heart disease has dropped for the first time in history, and deaths from the flu are non-existent. That's never happened before. So if you're just an inquisitive human being, somebody who's curious, you'd have to ask yourself, how can that be? And I'll leave it up to you to make your own conclusions.
I find some of those things, maybe the flu thing, I kind of get. Maybe there's something with the way that sometimes we've been forced to behave. We've the social distancing thing, the capacity at restaurants in some places, in places like California and New York and in Illinois, where they've been pretty much on lockdown for the entirety of this whole thing. Like maybe I get that, but the heart disease thing, like that I don't know, for some reason, I'm taken back a little bit by that, because I guess I just figured when everybody got the mandate that they were, I shouldn't say everybody. A lot of people got the mandate that they never thought they would get, and that was stay home, stay on your couch, and don't do anything. They're like, this is all I've ever wanted. This is what I do every single weekend. Now I get to do it all the time. I would figure that there would be, some repercussions of that, but it amazes me that some of these things are, I don't want to say disappearing necessarily, but that statistically speaking, the numbers are well below where they have been, given, the limitations that everybody's been, forced to live under.
Well, remember that was originally sold as you mentioned before, right? Is to flatten the curve.
Mm.
So 2 weeks turned into 4 weeks. 4 weeks has turned into 11 months.
Mm.
And just to touch on the point that you mentioned about the flu, it's a viable argument, but how then do you explain, the massive rise in COVID over the last 5 months? So you can't have it both ways. I was having a conversation locally with a very intelligent individual, and he's retired, and he had just had his COVID vaccine. He was all excited about it, and he said, that he got a shot, and he was looking forward to getting immunity from the shot, which, by the way, okay, this is not my opinion, this is what the research says, is the shot does not prevent you from getting COVID.
Right.
Nor does it prevent you from transmitting COVID.
Mm.
So why we taking it, I'm not real sure. To minimize the symptoms, that's at least what we're being told. If that's the case, then just work on your own immune system. Live a better lifestyle.
Right.
We have this innate immune system, which has allowed us to progress 40,000 years as a species. And we've been exposed to all kinds of bacterium and viral particles since the beginning of time. The only thing that's kept us going as a species is our immune system.
Mm-hmm. When
you consider that vaccines have really been only around for about 70, 80 years, when it first really with Jonas Salk and the polio vaccine. So, but he said to me, I said to him, well, how do you explain the rise in, he said to me, he said, did you see that the flu statistics are way down? I said, well, what do you think's the result of that? And he said, it's because everyone's wearing masks and social distancing. I said, oh, okay. Then why has there been such a rapid increase in the cases of COVID? And I kid you not, in the same exact sentence, he says to me, because no one's wearing masks and social distancing. And I stopped and I said, did you just hear yourself? I said, because you can't have one with the other. It's impossible. And he says to me, he goes, yeah, you know what? You're right. I don't know where this narrative is coming from, but it's illogical.
Right. I think we had a lot of great points that we made on our podcast, and one of them, we really dove deep into the immune system and things that we can do to enhance that, to strengthen our immune system, and in some real studies, have a better ability to fight off not just the COVID infection, but really any sort of infection that could come in. And we talked about things like zinc, and we talked about vitamin D. And you, even though you for some reason, Dr. J is always tan. I mean, it feels like you always come back from vacation. But vitamin D, vitamin K, I think you mentioned as something that needs to go along with your vitamin D. Magnesium, vitamin C, and all of the things that you can't really get. And we talked a lot about the American diet and how it's really impossible these days to try to get all of these things into your system with the American diet. Really, even if you're eating a healthy diet, it's tough to get those things in. So to supplement with those things to strengthen your immune system, I encourage everybody to go and listen to that podcast with Dr. J, which was, I think, number 73. So just a couple back, but we're kind of still, everybody expected when the calendar changed to 2020 that miraculously, whether via I don't know, the cloak of the change of the calendar, or a political change, or something was going to completely, eradicate, the fear of COVID, and the normal was going to come back. And I think we've seen now, in the 14th month of 2020, that we're still, at least, how we're being fed, the narrative is we're still living in this sense of fear, and still living in this world of confusion, and the rules, and what are they. So, there hasn't been much change in the last 10 months is really what we're getting to.
The only thing that's changed is the numerical number on the calendar. That's all that's really changed. And you touched on a word that I think it's important to acknowledge. You said fear. A couple things about fear. I believe that the greatest pandemic we're in now is a pandemic of fear. We live in fear. Here's really what we need to know about fear. Fear downregulates our immune system. Mm. So when we're present in fear, and people might say, well, I'm not in fear, right? They may not even be aware that just by the behaviors and their actions, the words that they use, the tone and energy that they're living with is a fear-based energy. And so therefore, that downregulates your immune system, which actually makes you more susceptible to all kinds of things, not just COVID.
Right.
So the first way out of it is we have to empower ourselves and start with getting hope back and getting our lives back and start engaging in normal behaviors. Wearing masks is not normal. It's not healthy. It's not healthy for relationships. It's not healthy just physically. Breathing in our own CO2 and damp, moist air. We know the increase in lung disease has gone up significantly because of mask wearing, respiratory infections, pneumonia.
Got a good question right on that, right here, from Nicole. Dr. J, I've read several studies that say masks are doing more harm than good, than do not protect against the virus. I think there's a lot of verbiage going on there along those lines as well. Some of the things you just touched on. I've got dozens of articles from journals. As you know, I'm one of those guys who researches a lot. So I research journals, and yeah, there's an awful lot of evidence to support that masks. I mean, just think of it. We know that masks only protect a 0.3 micron through the mesh, right? And up to a 0.3 microns. And the virus is 0.06. Again, just do the math, right? I think we've all seen that meme of the guy putting up a fence, and he says, I just put this fence up to stop the mosquitoes. It's a chain link fence. We know up here in Wisconsin, they don't get through those chain link fences. We just put them all around, and they don't bother us at all during the spring and summer and fall. Yeah. Little bastards. Dr. J, at Dr. J LaGuardia on all the social medias, follow him for really daily inspiration. I know you're doing a lot of virtual conferences and stuff, and of course, coaching young entrepreneurs, and not just young entrepreneurs. You've, by your words, you've coached an old entrepreneur. I point directly at myself. Seasoned. Yeah, just a couple of lines around the trunk. Yes, use a tree analogy, but definitely everybody go follow Dr. J on all of his socials, and it's always good to chat with you, man. And so many things. I mean, I think we're learning new stuff on the daily, and thanks for pointing people in the right direction as far as the narrative goes, man. I really appreciate it. Yeah, you bet. Thank you so much, Coop, for having me on, and best of luck with this. I think you're going to crush it. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. We'll be in touch. Sounds good. Dr. J LaGuardia. Always a pleasure to talk to Dr. J. I really do highly recommend that you go and check out that episode that Dr. J and I did a couple weeks ago. A lot of great things, more in-depth conversation on those topics, like masks, like immune system, and just kind of ways to do research. I would do more research, but I have Dr. J who does all the research, so I don't have to worry about as much. I check in with him and I say, so what do you think about this? And he's done all the work. So always appreciate the time. Do want to say another round of thanks to all of you who are tuning in and asking questions, whatever platform that you are on. If you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, or if you are on Twitch, thank you so much for being a part of it. Please make sure you share the live stream. The more people we can get in here, the merrier, more questions we can ask. I think there's plenty of conversation to have. And as I said in the open, I mean, this is not just a single direction conversation or show. We're going to talk about all things. We're going to talk to Dr. J about, health and wellness and masks and COVID stuff. And we're going to talk to Dan Marcon about guns, and we're going to talk to band members about, band life and music. And we're going to talk to guys who like aliens, because I like aliens. That's going to be my primary thing. Dan Marcon is supposed to be on the show right now. I think he might be having a little trouble jumping on the live stream, but if he does get in, we'll definitely jump into a conversation with him, because if you are a gun owner or are thinking about it, or even if you just have one for hunting, and I know up here in Wisconsin and in the Midwest, it's a big thing. And this new resolution, or this new thing that's gone into to Congress right now, HR 127, there are some really scary things in there. And again, I just became a gun owner like 6 weeks ago. Okay, maybe longer than that, a couple months back. But there are things in there that, if you are somebody who does look at the Constitution as a law of the land, it's really black and white, and you do abide by, you can't, it's not one of those pieces of paper that you can just pick and choose the ones that you support and the ones that you don't. I think if you even if you're not a gun owner, you look at HR 127, there are going to be things that you go, wait a minute, that seems a little bit ridiculous. So if we can't get Dan on today, no worries. We will get him on definitely sometime soon, because he is going to have a lot of insight, not only into that, but into kind of the crazy year that 2020 was. And from what I've heard, how 2021 is shaping up as even a bigger year for those who are going out and becoming gun owners, for a plethora of reasons. And whether you support it or whether you're against it, when it's black and white like that in the Constitution, I think you need to talk to people who have a really good insight on it. So hopefully we get Mr. Dan Marcon on very soon. We do have a ton of guests to get to today. It's going to be fantastic. I do see that my friend and compadre, my long lost brother from another mother, Mike, is here from the Violent. Look, you look clean shaven. You look so young.
Well, it's so cold. I felt like I should shave my beard off, because I just like to do the opposite of everything all the time.
Instead of looking early like you can survive, because you're down in Chicago, right?
Yes, it's dropping to the negatives this week, so I can't wait.
Oh yeah, we have the same. We're dealing with the same polar vortex.
I saw your post. Yeah, you're worse than we are.
Yeah, it was 12 below this morning. I think our high on Sunday is high temperature, not wind chill, 4 degrees below zero.
Oh, that's brutal.
I feel like we should get like some sort of like American Airlines should sponsor anybody who lives above like, Southern Illinois. Be like, you guys all get a free trip in February to go somewhere warm and just go and enjoy.
Just break it up a little bit.
How you been, man?
I've been good. I've been just staying busy and doing as much as I can at home. You know what I mean? I'm sure you can relate.
Yeah, I mean, I know you as a musician, and you guys are still getting after it and doing things with the Violent.
Yeah.
But it has become kind of a year. And when we spoke earlier this year about when we thought it was going to be a much shorter time locked indoors.
Everybody did.
But you've had to learn to adapt and to find new ways to put music out there. But what's been the latest with the project?
From the surface, it looks like, we put the 2 songs out, but behind the scenes, just so much going on in a good way. Just staying busy building assets and finishing songs. We have a ton of songs done. But it's a weird time. It's like, do we just release all these songs and then not tour, and then they fall on deaf ears, or it's weird. So, the plan is to get out much more music this year and hopefully kind of time that up. Vaccines coming out, people are successfully have had COVID. So like statistically we're reaching that threshold. So we're just kind of playing that by ear, but we're staying busy. Like we started our own label, and that's doing really well for us, even with just the 2 songs. So just being as busy as possible in music. Like I write every day, all day.
Yeah, I was going to ask with having this, kind of imposed sanctuary, have you found yourself as the writing process, it sounds like it's obviously become a daily thing. Has it altered any of your writing? I know, because you've always had, even from the Red Sun Rising days and into the Violent, you have this like beautiful darkness, to the writing style that really shows in like I was just listening to Fly on the Wall before I jumped on here to get myself, ready to go.
There you go.
But do you find that I'm gonna say being in seclusion, because I know you've had a chance to kind of get out and breathe some clean air here and there, but do you find that your writing style is because of not being able to go out and experience much of what you're used to, has it changed at all?
I mean, there's a lot of self-reflection, and I think we talked about this the last time we spoke. I don't know if it's because there's so much time to think and you're not experiencing things and you're not like being stimulated as much. I find like random memories coming back to me that I hadn't thought about for years. And, some things were great memories and some are just like very cringy, when you think of something that you may have said to someone or did, and you just like kind of go to yourself, some of those moments will come back. And I like writing about stuff like that, real personal, experiences and even the way I've interacted with people and the way they've, shown themselves to me over the years. And I've just been thinking about that, but I always find a little bit of a darkness in it, just because I need that. Right. I need to release those types of things. And that's kind of the whole point of the Violent as a band anyway. It's kind of the alter ego of those negative thoughts, like coming out through the medium of music.
Very cool stuff. We got Susan Music's page.
Hello.
Hi, Mike. Susan and Penny. Come on down to Florida and play.
All right, Penny Lane.
Maybe that's it. Maybe we just talked about everybody getting a flight down to somewhere warm. Maybe we'll all go down and see Penny and play a show.
Yeah, there we go.
Go see a
lot of beaches.
Yeah, no kidding. Take some time. It's obviously it's been a while since you've had the chance to get on the road, and having seen you live on multiple occasions and feeling that energy from you on the stage. Do you foresee when you do get back out on the road that you have like a pent up, like you're going to have the Hawaiian shirts are going to be just flowing, there's going to be bright colors, and it's just going to be, do you feel like you have this energy that's just waiting to get back on, and that first step onto a stage is going to be something that you've probably, never experienced before?
Yeah. And I'm definitely looking forward to that, because even just, jamming with my band has been tough. Like we've done a couple trips to Nashville to record together. And like, we've spent some time in the live room of the studio and like just jammed on a couple songs, and man, it just felt so good. I'm like, I haven't felt this in years. And it felt like that same feeling that I got like playing in the garage with my buddies.
Right.
Because for a while there, I was touring so much that shows I started to become numb to it. Like I would just go out on stage and just like autopilot, playing the same songs. But like, I think when you have it taken away and then you're craving it again, I think a lot of musicians are feeling that. I know a lot of my friends that play are, and I really think it's going to be a huge renaissance when this opens back up. Whether the people are ready for it or not, the musicians will be.
Oh man, I can't even imagine. I having introduced you guys, but stood on stage before, the actual talented ones in the band go on and do their thing, but having, being up there in front of, large crowds, and, you get up and I get a chance to rile people up and get them all jacked and excited. But when that first bass line hits, or if you have an intro, when that first chord hits,
yeah,
I'm trying to imagine, guys like you, standing back behind the curtain, and you feel that for the first time in what's probably going to be over a year. And man, like that emotion is going to be something.
Well, for us, like I was talking to somebody about this the other day. It's like that feeling when you're backstage, and any musician, that hears this will know this feeling. When the lights first drop, ooh, and you can't see the crowd, but you can hear them. Like I still get chills. I just got chills thinking about it just now. Like that feeling. So if you are in the crowd, when the lights drop and you cheer, like we feel it. And I can't wait to have that feeling again.
That's awesome, man. So new record label. That's, I got nothing else to do. So to start a record label, that was,
yeah, it's like, why not? It's like, learn that side of the business too. It's only going to make us stronger, I guess.
Do you feel like really having a lot more creative control because of that aspect? You've always kind of been, as far as the music goes, but you'd feel like expanding beyond just the artist into, kind of the more management type? Do you feel like you have more control of what you do as an artist? Or
I've always been pretty on top of that kind of thing. And I think that's why it was cool being on labels like Razor and Tie and Fearless, because they're under major labels or major umbrellas, but they're basically indie labels, and they kind of let you run the course, and then they step in when they need to. But so I kind of always had that kind of spirit in me anyway. And now I have more time to do it. And it's just really fun to build. And I don't know if we'll remain this way when everything opens back up. We may, go back to a label. I have no idea. But right now it's like, it's really fun to see, even some of the revenue streams that I didn't really understand existed, because we never saw them, because they went to the label and then they got filtered back to us. And it's just like, there's a lot you can do as an independent artist.
Have you looked at doing shows? I mean, Penny was on here and she talked about obviously Florida. I know there's some other states that are doing some things. Have you guys discussed, trying to put something together, or are you kind of in a wait and see mode here? I know Illinois has been talking about, at least in the last couple of weeks, about doing some opening up, which thank God. But have you guys discussed kind of maybe some plans to get out? And
I think the more and more, like APA is still our agency, and they've started to field, offers even for us for summer. And it's just like, nothing's, everyone's like, it's iffy, but this could happen. So I think we're just kind of sitting back. We might do a live stream, thing. And the band's never played live. Like the Violent has never played live before, which is really crazy. And it would be kind of cool if we entered that world digitally first, and everything was digital, and then boom, we're live in person. So I don't know exactly how this is going to unfold. We're kind of taking it day by day. But I think some of those festivals not canceling this year was a bold statement. I know, like Danny Wimmer, he didn't cancel all his festivals, and that was like a huge hopeful sign, especially for the rock industry.
Yeah, because I mean, as you know, as a touring artist who's played a lot of those festivals, I know you've been up, at my festival up here at Rockfest, several times. Those things. In yes, I mean, first and foremost, I think have thought about the impact on the artists and kind of the circles that spin around them. It's not just the artists themselves. Obviously, there's crew guys, and there's the venue guys, and that circle just grows and grows. The truck drivers. I mean,
totally.
It just, the hit that industry took, in all genres was unfathomable. But I think when you think about these big festivals, especially when you have one in a smaller area like Cadott is,
I love that festival too.
We have so much fun.
Blast.
It's so much fun. You're like in the middle of the woods, there's a farm field, and then 25,000 people camping. It's
a good time.
But you think about that. Not just the revenue for the community, but all those people that plan their summer around going to this 4-day or 3-day music festival, but it takes 5 days. All the workers, all the the staff, the part-timers, all the venues around, or the places around town, or even in the outskirts of town that you can go to, the impact is so big. And obviously it starts with the artists, and then it goes to the venue, and you have festivals, and it goes to all that. And a lot of these festivals, I mean, Rockfest excluded because they got their stuff together, but it gets tough to put on those major festivals year to year. And I think you've seen a lot of them, across the country. Wimmer had to do some things. There's some over on the other side of the state that had to close down, because they're, they put on these festivals, not because they're in it to make a shit ton of money. They want to put on the show. Yeah. When the show doesn't happen, you can see the fallout. But
and a lot of those people, like, that's their hobby, or that's like their one trip a year. Or, it's like, and we always have to remind ourselves that when we're touring, and every show does start to feel the same. And we're like, these people are here. They maybe have saved up half a year's, paychecks to just come to this show. And like, you have to remind yourself that. And, I feel for those people too, that they just love that atmosphere so much, and it was taken away.
I think there's a lot of good signs out there. You talked about Wimmer. I know Rockfest is still on the calendar. There's a bunch of them that are still, pushing forward. I don't want to say drawing a line in the sand, but I think they're bracing themselves and they're preparing themselves as if everything is going to happen. It's going to go off, whether they have to implement, whatever they have to implement. There's such a dire need, I think, in not just for those venues, but obviously for the artists and for the fans too. I mean, it's you as a rock guy, and I think rock fans above all other genres, that connection between artist and fan is something that you don't really see in a lot of other genres. It is close. It's an emotional tie. I mean, I think, with a guy like you, who writes with that kind of raw passion, those songs, however you write them, or, whatever meaning you write them for, someone can embrace that song and take it on. And it just becomes like the thing that gets them through. And when they see you live, and that is like, they've reached their Mecca,
Yeah.
Mike at live, and the shirt's flowing all over the place. And they're just in this, euphoric area, but there's no other genre that's like that. So for the fans to get out there and to get back,
it's so true. It's in the rock. It's like, and you see a lot of these, pop, and I love pop. Trust me, I love pop. But like you see some of these like younger pop acts that'll start out and they'll have millions and millions of streams, but they can't sell a ticket to save their life because that's just not what that community is. The rock community is like, you hit the pavement, you go tour, you meet people, and you get in their face and you spend nights with them over the years. And that's what I love about it.
Well, hopefully 2021 opens up some avenues. I know for you guys, being the first time you're going to do a live show this year, that's got to be nerve-wracking and exciting.
It's exciting for sure. We get a lot of prepare for.
Awesome. Hey, it's at the Violent Music. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes, at the Violent Music.
So check it out. The two songs are fantastic, and Mike, always a pleasure to get you on. We'll get you back on the full-length podcast. We have so many things to discuss as we get into the new year, my friend.
Love it. Thanks for having me, man.
Thank you for being a part of it, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Take
Mike,
care.
Do the same. My buddy Mike from the Violent Music is where they are on Instagram and all the other socials. So definitely go and follow those guys. I mean, that's been one of the bigger things. If you are a concert goer or somebody who enjoys going to see live music, it's one of those things that's just been missing, from the arsenal of what you've been able to do on a constant. I've had great conversations over the last, almost year of this podcast since it's been live streamed. Because a lot of these artists, for a long time were home, like Mike was talking about. But the fact that you've maybe lived and there's been a show in town or a concert or a festival, and you've said, it's a Thursday and I got to work tomorrow, or, I got to get a sitter. I'll get them next time. They're going to be somewhere soon and I'll go and check that show out. There is literally no excuse now. I mean, you want to talk about the things that you missed out on because, venues were shut down and bands weren't touring. If that band is in town, even if you only like one of their songs, go and see the fucking show. Go buy a t-shirt. You got to get out and experience these things, because I think we've all witnessed all the things that can be taken away from us in the blink of an eye, things that we took for granted. I mean, from things like going to shows to, going out to happy hour. I don't want to go today. Nah, I know it's a long day. Go and do shit. I think that's what we should all have learned throughout this whole thing. Let's get some comment. Yeah, missed concerts too. So many people feeling the same way as Penny does, missing concerts, missing festivals, all the things that a lot of people plan their, especially for festivals in the summer, planning their summers around going to these kind of things. I mean, we can only be super hopeful that all of these things go off without a hitch in this year, because, one thing that, Dr. J and I, who was on earlier, him and I talked about on the podcast is the mental effects of lockdowns and social distancing. I mean, it's just not how we are created as human beings. I mean, we're packs, man. We run in packs, we run in tribes, and then we are been, kind of pushed away from each other. So there's a lot of mental anguish that goes on, and a lot of things that maybe aren't being reported on as much as you see on the news, if you're still into that shit. or on your social media. A lot of it is about, the facts, and then the facts over here, and there's so many facts, the real things that we're dealing with, maybe a little more up here and maybe a little in there too, maybe a little in the heart. Still have a great show. We got another 2 hours to go here and a bunch of great guests still lined up. We got Matt James from Blacktop Mojo. He's going to be on in about 5 minutes. They have a show tonight. They're in Houston, Texas, and they're playing a show. So kudos to those guys. So between load in and I'll have to bust them a little bit, because the whole thing is like singers don't really do load in. They carry their mic in. Everybody else got to carry all their shit. But Jimmy James from Blacktop Mojo is coming up. Also, Phil Norvold from Max-Bilt Off-Road and Manufacturing. Adrian Patrick of Otherwise is still to come. Jimmy Tollard from The Lonely Ones. They just dropped a new song today. Go and check that song out, because it's a great one. That one just dropped today. Also have Vince Ebertz from Nuisance and Mitch Arnold from Wayland. It's like you say the man's name and miraculously he shows up on your screen. Matt James.
What's up, brother?
How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, brother. How are you?
So you have a show tonight.
We do.
Down in Houston?
Yes, sir. Houston, Texas, Warehouse Live. Socially distanced. Everybody's at tables and spaced out, and temperatures at the door and all that,
Yeah. How many? You guys have done a couple of shows, haven't you?
Yeah, we did one back in December. I think that's the last show we had, and then we've been in Nashville recording our next record for the past few weeks. And
ooh,
yeah,
new music,
man. I'm pumped. 2021 starting off with a bang.
That's right. Is this kind of, and we had you on the podcast, kind of in the middle of all this stuff. Did you have some time? Was it taking over this pandemic to write some new music?
Oh yeah, man. We've been working on this record since I think we've been putting it together since probably July or August of last year, just kind of meeting up a few times a week. We all, live in the same town or whatever, so we're a couple minutes apart from each other. We just meet up a few times a week and hash out new songs, man. And we finally got the opportunity to go to Nashville a couple weeks ago and lay some stuff down. So still working on it, but hopefully it'll be out this summer, man.
You guys don't live in the same house still?
Nathan and his now wife, they built a little house and they moved out. So it's just me, Kiefer, and Kat in there. And Chuck lives, Chuck's actually whose house we practice at. He lives a couple minutes down the street from us. So
him and the new wife didn't want to stay in the house?
Yeah, they didn't want to stay in the old band house, man. Gets a little crowded, a little noisy, I guess,
Yeah, I understand that. I do have this, and we've talked about this now, I think on 2 podcasts, but this.
Oh, yeah. We still haven't gotten the opportunity to drink that thing, man.
This is still unopened. Look at that shit.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
I was telling the story in the opening of the show today. I said, being a program director for almost a decade and a half, you get some cool stuff. Some bands are really creative. Nobody came through like Blacktop Mojo.
Oh, yeah, man. We're trying to get y'all drunk, man.
I'm missing out. I've been holding out now for like 4 years now.
Yeah, no. In theory, you're supposed to drink it before you listen to our you're like, oh yeah, man, this is fucking great.
Burn the ships, motherfucker. Burn them all.
Put this on the radio right now.
You know what we're going to do? We're going to play the whole thing. We're just going to play it all.
The whole album.
Yeah.
Blacktop Mojo Hour.
It is. We should have been a thing, man. But here I am. I'm trying to be, I'm trying to think of you and the next time I see Matt and the guys, I'm going to save this.
Oh, yeah. Well, we were supposed to drink it at Rockfest last year. So that was it. And then COVID,
Yeah.
Now you just got to hold on to it. Now it's probably aging in that bottle. It's probably just getting better and better,
It is. Let's see it. It's probably
I don't think that's how that works, but I
if it is, we started off at 80 proof. We got to be close to like 95 now. We got to.
Yeah, exactly, man.
It's pretty much ethyl alcohol at this point. It's like Everclear with a little color to it.
Put it in your truck, man.
Yeah, experiment.
Yeah.
Oh man. So you guys got, I know, you got some shows lined up. You know, the show you played in the summer, was it also social distance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's supposed to wear masks and all that stuff. And this is Texas, so sometimes you can't really tell people what to do. And
It's because they all got guns.
but yeah, I mean, they're all, you know, limited capacity, and you know, to allow people to stay away from each other.
Is that tough for you? Because I know I've just seen you guys live at several occasions. I mean, that crowd in you, there's like a bond there. Is it weird to have them be all separate?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. It's weird not to be able to, you know, you catch yourself when you're up there wanting to like jump down in the crowd or something like that, and you can't do that, you know. So it's kind of a weird thing, you know.
Yeah, don't crowd surf when there's nobody there.
Yeah, you can't crowd surf. Just one guy carrying you 6 feet. Another person.
You got to pick out the strongest.
It'd be like Dirty Dancing, but like.
Oh, there you go. You guys could do a cover of "Time of Your Life."
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, Kiefer, how do you feel about playing the high part there?
Oh, he would love that. He'd do the background vocals that are way up there. The time of my life.
Oh, it's gotta happen. It's gotta happen.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna put this out on the Twitter and see what happens.
Put it on the Twitter.
Put it on the Twitter. So what do you guys got planned for for the foreseeable future, I guess, in 2021? More shows, obviously the album's getting worked on.
Yeah, album's getting worked on. That's the main thing. We have another show at a ATV park coming up in a couple weeks, right near our hometown there in Jacksonville, Texas. Played there a few times. Big outdoor stage and stuff. It's really fun. A lot of rowdy ass rednecks, you know. We've talked about that before, you know, central type of shit.
It's Texas.
Well, yeah, but this is Texan. Very similar.
Yeah.
And then as far as that, we got a few festivals that got rescheduled from 2020. Hopefully, fingers crossed, they'll happen this year, and we'll be able to put some touring around that. And as more people get vaccinated, and you know, finally reach that herd immunity type of thing that they keep talking about. So,
dude, everybody's moving to Texas. Elon Musk moved to Texas. Rogan's down there now.
Oh yeah, Austin's going to be the new Hollywood, man. It's going to be.
I don't know if Austin wants that.
I don't think they do, man. There's all kinds of, you know, T-shirts that keep your California out of my Texas, you know, type of shit. But,
yeah, wasn't like, I thought I heard like McConaughey was starting some initiative, like you know, come to Austin, like, keep your California values.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I mean Austin's always been weird anyway, so it's that's the perfect place for anybody to migrate to from outside the state. You
want to launch rocket ships and shit? Go do it in Austin.
Hell yeah, man. No, I think it's pretty cool, man. It's nice to be near where the new place might be, you know.
Well, yeah, and you hope, and this has been brought up several times. Is you hope that people who left the place because it sucked don't bring the reason it sucked with them. Like, oh, it sucked over there. Well, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, being in Texas, though, I don't think you're, like I said, it's hard to tell people what to do. So, you know, they can bitch and moan all they want, but I don't think it'll really change any minds out here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's why it's the People's Republic.
Yeah.
Republic of Texas.
Another Republic of Texas.
Matt James, Blacktop, Mojo. Good luck on the show tonight, man. Enjoy playing in front of people, and let's catch up sometime.
Absolutely, man. Congrats on the new the live show, man. This is awesome.
Hey, man, we'll have you back on. We're going to get you and Kiefer on to rehearse your time of our life.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, man. We'll get it worked up for you.
We'll do it a cappella. It'll be amazing.
Oh, even
awesome. Matt, take care of yourself, brother. My best to the guys.
You too, brother. Thank you.
Matt James, Blacktop Mojo, out playing a show tonight down in Houston, Texas. That's good. It's good for them. You know, you can see that that there's some places, man. I was talking to Mike about that. There's some places that are up doing shows, and I think you got to get out. You got to get out and see things because just the way shit's going, it could change in the drop of a hat. It could be like, oh yeah, it's fine. The next day it's not. I mean, if you follow the state of Wisconsin at all, and we had a repeal of the mask mandate, and then we had a reissue of another mask mandate, another state. It's just a clusterfuck up here. So, but we're trying to get through it all. And hopefully live shows, definitely something that come back. I know there are some scheduled up here in our area over the next couple of months. So again, like I said, get out and see a show. Wherever you are watching, first off, thank you for being a part of it. See, we got a bunch of people on Facebook and on Twitch that are being a part of it. Also, if you are on Twitch, make sure you follow. And while you're there, follow Blacktop Mojo and also otherwise. I know those guys are on there doing great things on their Twitch account. So make sure you jump on board of that and be a part of whatever we're going to do next. We got some guests lined up for next week too that we got to keep secret for right now. But if you follow me on the socials or follow Welcome to Cooperville on the socials, you'll be seeing all the folks that we got coming up over the next week, because this is going to be a Monday through Friday thing. So I got invited. Actually, I saw somebody post about it. My buddy Nixon from Framing Hanley said something about this Clubhouse app. And so I did some research on it. I kind of half-assed watched a video about what it was. And so it's this new social media app. And if anybody's on Clubhouse, I'm at No Limit Cooper. Throw a follow in there. So basically it's all audio. It's no pictures. There's no texts. There's no sharing of links or anything like that. It's strictly audio. My buddy Steve Virginia, who's going to be on the show next week from Nashville, invited me into Clubhouse. You have to be invited now. You can't just like download the app and join, because it's still really in kind of beta. They're still working on it. So you can you start your own room. And from within that room, you can have conversations, like voice conversations with whoever else is in the room. It's kind of a cool, audio only social media app. Bunch of cool people on there. I know Elon Musk almost broke it because he started a live conversation, but it's really kind of eerie because you're in this app and you could have a conversation with Elon Musk. Like he's there talking about, I don't know, what's that mind thing they got going on, that neuro thing they're going to put in our brains, or we're all going to be able to do some Neo in the Matrix shit, like teach me how to fly an Apache helicopter or something like that. It's gonna be crazy. But you're like in this chat room, vocal chat room, talking with whomever is leading the room. Now they can not invite you in to actually speak, but you can still be there listening to what they have to say. Kind of a really cool new way of looking at social media, because you do have a chance, which you really don't get to do on other platforms. And that's actually have conversation. That's a lot of the premise behind what this is to have open form conversations with people about what they got going on, their thoughts, their insights, but really cool stuff. So if you check out Clubhouse, again, right now it's just in beta. So if nobody invites you, you kind of go on and you can, save your screen name. And then, and once it gets going, they open it up. Otherwise, I think if somebody sees you on there, then they can in turn invite you to join Clubhouse. But kind of a cool new thing. It's one of those things that you're probably going to regret, not investing in. We can talk about investing in stuff if we really want to, but that whole Robinhood thing it's a wild week, man. Little guy taking down big hedge firms, making money on GameStop. I mean, okay, I have a 10-year-old, so I've been to GameStop. And if you ever tried to exchange something at GameStop, I think he had a couple old games and a video game console or something like that. But he tried to exchange something, and it was probably worth $50 on eBay, and GameStop's hey, here's $10. But hey, now it's the cat's meow, that whole GameStop thing. Look at this fella here. Patrick of Otherwise jumping on.
Coops, what up, man? Did I jump the gun, bro? I'm sorry. I'm just trying to be prepared. I don't want to be late.
Nah, man. Early bird gets the worm, man. Early bird gets the worm. How you been?
I'm all right. You can hear me all right?
I can hear you like you're right next to me.
All right, cool. Very good. Very good. All right, man. Let me know when it's my turn, my time, and I'll just kick back.
All right. Well, I just brought you on. You're on the live stream now, so I'll
snaps. All right.
How you doing, everybody? How you doing? Welcome
to Cooperville, baby.
Yeah, we're live, man. It's good.
That's awesome. But dude, the beard game is fucking strong, bro.
It's eventually I want it to be a coat. You know, I've seen you wear some badass like big fur coats, you know, doing the damn thing, like coming out on stage, it's like, well, bam. Like I just want mine to be like, well, bam, you know, just be able to throw it.
They've been faux fur, not real fur. Yeah.
Well,
but I do have a body beard. I've got a full-on body beard going, dude. So I'm good on that.
Just connecting it all, you know, just from the upper lip, just all the way.
From here down. It doesn't grow up here. So just from the eyes down. That's.
No, man, that's awesome. I have so much I want to talk to you about, including I re-listened to our podcast, and I was inspired, and this is probably going to happen tonight to go and rewatch Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh, dude!
The first thing we talked about was the checks in the mail, and Jack Burton.
Baby.
Now I'm just I re-listened to our podcast. I'm like, shit, man, I got to go rewatch that now. That's my Friday night.
I gotta go, dude. That movie. If you haven't seen that movie, and if you have seen it and you think it sucks, well,
fuck you.
Go fuck yourself. You know what I'm saying?
No. Go Yankee.
Oh, what you got? What you got? Dude, see what I'm saying? Golf Foxtrot Yankee, baby.
There you go. Grunt Style. Grunt Style, if you're watching, by the way, feel free to jump on board and sponsor the podcast because this makes $0 right now. This is just what I do for fun.
Hey, dude, it's like rock and roll, baby. It makes close to $0, bro.
How much you making? Well, I can afford to keep the internet connected, so
well, at least that's working, bro. That's good, man. Dude, I like that. Golf Foxtrot Yankee might be the next album title.
If it's not, then I'm gonna be upset because we created some magic right here.
So how you been, man? What's going on? What's cracking with you,
dude? Been, you know, just living the dream. You know, working for the festivals. Not actually putting on festivals, but no, it's been good. Beard company, you know, dadding it up, starting live shows.
You're doing the dad thing too, man. That's pretty. I mean, look, you can see it right here, bro. It's all daddy beard right here, bro.
Mine's coming, man. Actually, I'm starting up here, like kind of like what happened is I used to have hair that came down somewhere around here, and now it's like scared of my face now. It's going, what the fuck? It's just backing up.
Oh shit, man!
You guys are like, I've seen you guys jumping on and doing the Twitch thing. I know you guys got a Patreon going on, so you guys are like really you found ways during all of this to kind of embrace different avenues of keeping connected with the fans, which you guys just, I mean, I don't know if anybody does it better than you guys do.
I appreciate that compliment, Coops. I mean, really, I wish we were better at the Patreon thing. You know, we have a handful of people who subscribe and pay good money every month. And then, you know, there's times I'm like, damn, dude, I'm not doing enough for these people who are giving their money to help me take care of my family, you know? So I've been trying to, you know, wrap my head around the Patreon kind of wheelhouse. And, you know, we, again, as you know, like being a dad, I don't know how some of these other guys do it who are on Twitch. You know, I know that there's a few artists they're on Twitch, they're on Patreon like nonstop, and they have kids. And I'm like, how the fuck are they pulling that off, man? Because I just literally had to send the boys upstairs on their iPads. I was like, wait, they can be down here while I talk to Coops. But and then they started screaming on the iPads, and I was like, all right, now you got to get out of here, man. You know, like,
dude, I had I can't remember who I had. I think it was Mixie from Stitched Up Heart, or I was on with somebody, and so it's me and then her, and then all of a sudden a little face all of a sudden peeks into the camera, and I'm like, my son. And then, you know, I got, in my studio down here, I got two other mics set up. So he's over on the other mic. He's just talking. He's like, you know what I think? I think that Fortnite is really not as cool as everybody thinks it is. I'm like, well,
dude, that's over here playing Roblox. And I'm just
Roblox.
Okay, yeah, let me get the password for you, dude. Like, I got to do this thing. Like,
Roblox is the thing, though, man. That's, I don't know, these kids are.
How old is your little one again?
Gonna be 11.
11. All right, so not as little, but still, you know.
Yeah, I mean, he's shorter than I am, so I call him little.
He's a little dude, man.
Yeah, until he overtakes me, he's just a little, you know, he's a little shit. But
right.
It's weird, though, you know. And Roblox and things like Minecraft, it's weird when you look at, the spectrum of gaming and how you have, and even Fortnite, I guess, to an extent, you have things like, you look at Call of Duty or even like the new Madden, or I see they're coming, like college football, NCAA college football is coming back out with a game. Like the graphics, it's like on the verge of being like you're playing with real humans. It's so close.
My big son and I were literally watching something on ESPN2 the other day, and it was like a Madden competition, and I was like, yo, son, come here, look at this. And they're playing, and he's like, is that real football, Dad? And I was like, no, it's a video game. Like, right? He's like, that's a video game? I was like, yeah, dude, that's a great video game, man. But you know what scares me about that shit, Coops, is like when I ended up coming up playing video game stuff, there wasn't a whole lot of the online element. You know what I mean? So like, like sometimes my son, one of them will be on their iPad and they'll be playing like Roblox or Minecraft or something. And they'll say they're talking to someone. And that just, as a parent, man, that kind of freaks me the fuck out a little bit, like, so like on our Xbox, and I do my best on the iPad. Like I try to limit the online engagement. You know what I mean? Because like you were growing up, we were playing Madden on like Super Nintendo and fucking 64.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of shit. So there was not a bunch of potential weirdos like that are playing the game with you. And that's, I mean, the beauty of the online thing is we get to do this kind of stuff, but then there's that other kind of, shady side that as a dad, I worry about.
Yeah, this just happened the other day. So I was upstairs, doing something in the kitchen, and my son was down here in the basement, and he was playing on his Switch, and it was Roblox or Fortnite or something, and I hear like the other kids he's playing with, and they all sound like they're 10. I'm like, he's just playing with some kids. They're all 10, and all of a sudden I'm up there, and I don't have anything playing. The TV's not on. There's no music going, and I hear this voice, and I'm like, that's a fucking man. Like I'm gonna go and
talking to my son.
Over here, and I'm gonna do this thing behind the tree. And I'm like, who in the fuck are you talking to? He's like, that's my cousin Carter. I'm like, the fuck it is. So I call up my cousin, and I'm like, dude, put Carter on the phone. And Carter, who's now 14, and I talked to him, but and he's like, hello. I'm like, whoa, like, dude, like what happened? Like 8 minutes ago, or maybe 8 months ago, you were like, hey, I'm a teenager, and now you're talking like a man. That's not okay.
Dude, that is so funny that you mentioned that, Coops, because I recently kind of reconnected with my own nephew, my cousin Ivan, God rest his soul. His son, Elijah, who happens to like somehow magically, I guess it's in the blood or whatever, right? He's into music and he's pretty fucking good at it, right? So we kind of connected. I mean, I hadn't spoken to the kid since since his dad died in 2011. So almost 10 years I hadn't spoken to this young man, right? And he gets on the phone. He's like, Uncle Adrian, what's up, man? And I was like, I'm talking to him, and I'm lowering my voice while I'm talking to him because I was like, dude, this kid's got a deeper voice than I do. What the fuck is going on, man?
What are they put in the water over there, dude?
Yeah, what the hell, man?
More bassy, you have to run him at tenor or something, dude. Like, bring it up. Yeah. But that online world, man, I do think, during all this, it is, with online schooling, my kid's doing the virtual thing. So, I mean, it's great. It's fucking amazing. I mean, I get to, be like, I'm bored. I should start a talk show like Monday through Friday for 3 hours and just talk to people I know and, about whatever. There's no direct, end game to this conversation. It just goes wherever.
Right.
But then, when you get that parent mode and you go, man, it's really cool. All the cool things I can do. And you're like, wait a minute, he's probably smarter than I am. These kids, they don't know a world where the internet isn't just everywhere.
Right.
Like, Dad, where's the Wi-Fi here? I'm like, we're in the middle of nowhere. And he's like, well, I see there's a Wi-Fi. I'm like, what the fuck? What the? I'm like, dude.
My wife will sometimes, she's not a huge video game fan. She wasn't like a gamer growing up, like, my brother and I were, and as you were, probably, I'm assuming, but she'll jump on and try to play a game. And, my sons are 6 and 4, and they'll be telling her what to do. You know what I mean? Like how to sign in and how to pull up, like add a guest so she can play. And she's just like, how do they know this shit? And I was like, I didn't teach them. Like we just sat down and they figured it out, you know?
They have my son, and I'm sure yours do too. They have this knowledge of like Google and YouTube. You can learn whatever you need to know.
Yeah.
They'll just like, oh, my buddy told me if I just downloaded this app, I'm like, wait a minute, let me vet the child. Like, how do you know him? Like, how old is he? Let me see some ID. Like, I need to know.
Right. We had the Dewey Decimal System and like Britannica, Encyclopedia Britannica. That's how we learned shit. Right?
But dude, it made us survivors. Can you imagine if our children had to go into a library? Not if they go into a library, but if they ever go into a library and had like these just cards with numbers and letters on, they'd be like, "What in the like? What is this? Can I just yell at a robot and it like gives me the book?
Alexa, I need this book. Oh shit, I think I just turned.
Yeah, robots are listening now, man. Robots are listening.
Seriously,
it's crazy though. So what? And you guys, like I said, you've been doing stuff on Twitch and on other social media sites, doing live stuff with the band. You know, I saw you bringing Tony the other night. That was hilarious. He just comes in spinning on his chair.
Right. That was great. The Twitch thing, and you're always trying to think about in this day and age, what's our gimmick? Do we have a shtick? You know, like what is it? You know. But then when we like with my brother and Nick and Joe, and then Tony he's kind of like the ghost man on third or second. I can't remember the exact baseball phrase, but he's still like an unofficial / honorary member, and that was awesome. Like just jumping on and doing that and just being ourselves, you know? So I do really appreciate and enjoy that aspect of like the Twitch game and the live streaming stuff. Again, I wish we were a little more innovative for our Patreon fans. And even just for ourselves as well. But it's God bless the guys who have figured it out. You know what I mean? There's certain guys who just, they get on and they've got 100,000 people watching them while they're streaming, just playing video games or just selling merch, and it's like, man, tip my hat to you, dude. So, but we're not, again, it's been a great avenue to stay active, stay somewhat engaged in this weird, like we spoke last time, this whole weird, I don't know, fucking zombie apocalypse that's happening. But actually, man, you know what I'm really excited about is we actually get to go and do what we do best. Coming up in April, we are going to be doing a little mini tour.
Nice.
And so we're going to get to get out there and live again, and that's what I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking for just the chance. I never thought I'd ever get to tour again. You know what I mean, Coops? Right, I was like, well, when's the next time we're going to get to tour? So it's like a 2-week run, 10-day run. And it's a couple of our favorite venues that we've played, mostly Midwest. And it's, who knows? It could be the last time we ever tour. We don't even, and it's like, even now in these uncertain times, it's like, we don't even know if, a month out, 2 weeks out, a venue is like, look, we can't do it. Our local government said no, or what? We have no idea what to expect, but we are committed to doing it, man. And we're calling it the Tiger Blood Mini Tour.
Charlie Sheen would be proud.
I know. I hope we're making him. I hope we're making good old Chuck proud, man. My brother. We actually. I think I can't remember if we talked about it, but shortly before. I was on your podcast with you. We had done Sturgis, and it was like it was just like old times. Nobody gave a fuck. Hardly anybody was wearing masks, and we were wearing masks. But when we were at the merch booth, we were taking pictures and shaking hands and all that. Of course, sanitizing and stuff.
Right.
And none of us got the vid. But then in recent weeks, my brother got it. And our drummer Joe got it, but they're okay. They were okay. It was rough on my brother, but now that's why we're calling it Tiger Blood, the Tiger Blood Tour, man. It's like, all right, look, we got them antibodies, man. Let's go. Let's do this.
Do you remember when was the last show? I mean, was that the last show you played with Sturgis? Have you played since then?
The last like actual big live show, yes.
Yeah.
That was it. And it was packed, man. We played at Iron Horse Saloon, I think. We're pretty sure what it was. And it was, it's a huge venue, outdoors, big stage, great crew, great sound, great lights. The place was fucking packed. And that was the last like full on public show we did. But we've done a couple of private shows. We call them our little VIP super spreader events that we've done. And dude, I mean, it's been great. I know that, like I said, my brother got sick, our drummer got sick, but shit, man, we got to live. We got to live. You can't just run and hide,
Yeah, it's and there's some places that are open. I just had Matt James on from Blacktop Mojo. I know you guys have done some stuff. That beard, I'm telling you,
dude, that man has a fucking glorious beard game.
He's like the leader of the ginger beard army. He's just got that red.
He's got Viking blood, man. That motherfucker's got some Viking blood in him or something.
He does, man. He's all Texas too. He's all Texas.
Yeah. And those guys in Blacktop Mojo, that was our last actual tour that we did was with them.
Yeah.
And it was such a great time, man. We'd never met the dudes, and by the time we got done, it was roughly about a month run or so. Like, man, I can't believe that was 2019, dude. So, anyways, it was like we made lifelong friends being out there with those guys, and it was beautiful. And as rough as the road can be, you know what I mean? It's, being away from family and living in a van basically. And when you meet guys like that, who are your coworkers, your contemporaries, and they just, they become fast friends, man. They're like, I feel like I've known those dudes forever.
Yeah.
And that doesn't always happen in this business. So for you to have Matty on tonight, that was awesome, dude. Like, fuck, how's he doing, man? He's just
playing a show, man. They're fucking playing a show tonight down in Houston.
Really?
Yeah, socially distanced. I talked to him about it. I said, what's it like? Is it like? I mean, to me, I think Texas is like the fucking last frontier. Like they don't give a fuck. Like whatever. Everybody's got a gun. It doesn't matter. But COVID. But yeah. It's a socially distanced show. So they got tables set up and everybody has to on a table. So he's like, it's going to be weird. Because and you guys are the same way. I mean, I've seen you multiple times. That connection, and a lot of artists are this. The connection between you and the audience is the energy that makes it go, that makes it happen. So to have it be like, just, 4 people over here and there's 3 over here. I'm like, well, dude, like, don't stage dive. Fun catch ya. But he's like, it's a show, and they think they did one in December, and then they have this one, and then they have one in a couple weeks. But it's even in Texas, of all places, it's few and far between.
Yeah, it's weird, man. We did a couple, as you mentioned, we did a couple of live stream events from our production facility in Las Vegas, Structure Exhibits, and the last full like band one we did. We had a socially distant crowd. It was only like 20 people tops or so. And it was just weird. It is a weird thing. It's like, it's one thing if you drive to some little bar somewhere in some town you've never played, where you have no radio presence, and you play to 10 people, and it's like, okay, well, we're on to the next show. And that on tour that happens, Yeah. But it's a whole different like mindset when you prepare for this big show that you're doing. We had a big stage and full production, and there's literally like 24 people there because that's all, you know what I mean? That's all you're legally allowed to do. And the energy exchange is definitely, it's completely different, So, and for bands like us and Blacktop, I mean, every band feeds off of it really. But it's I don't know. I really don't know what to expect on this Tiger Blood tour. I'm hoping the shows don't get canceled. I'm hoping that people show up. I'm hoping that people are responsible. You know what I mean? Like, wear a mask or don't wear a mask, but just don't cough in my fucking face if you're not wearing a mask. You know what I'm saying? Like,
really, in general, like
Yeah, COVID or no COVID, don't cough in my phone.
it took COVID to be like, don't cough in people's faces. Like, shouldn't that have been a fucking thing? Like, just don't do that in general.
Isn't it basic like human, like how you act, how you're supposed to be.
In the beginning was like, wash your hands. I'm like, shouldn't people be doing that? Like,
Yeah.
It feels like we did this whole like toddler training thing. Like, don't cough in people's faces and wash your hands.
Cover your mouth.
Cover your mouth, clean your butt, and it'll be fine. Yeah. Like, okay. Like, I think I was at my son's 4K. I think they said that same fucking thing. Like, he knew. He's like, yeah, I
know. It's absurd. I don't know what to expect, man. You know, we're really happy these venues are being very generous and you know, they're helping again keep the lights on and put food on the table and all that sort of thing. I'm just hoping that the people show up and make it worthwhile for these promoters and owners who are, you know, really taking a chance. And yeah, we'll see, man. It's going to be super interesting one way or another. And we will have to circle back and do another welcome to Cooperville when we're ready. And we come back and give you the report. When
the Tiger's blood is running thin.
Tiger's blood, baby. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Going to put it to the test. Let's see what happens.
No, man, it's all good.
My wife is a nursing student, so she got the vaccine. She was, you know, she had to get it to keep in nursing. So I mean, I'm pretty sure I already had it last March. But who knows, man? You know, it's mutating. You know, Teenage Mutant Ninja COVID. I don't fucking know.
Here's the deal. If your wife turns into a zombie, I need you to give me a heads up. I just need like, you know, I'm starting to supply some shit. I just need to know, like, if the apocalypse is coming, what do I need to be prepared?
I'll let you know, man. I'll shoot you a text. All right, for sure.
Be like, dude, Tiger's blood. # Tiger's blood. That'll be the code word. Like, oh shit.
Shit. It didn't work.
Here we go again.
Yeah.
Awesome. Hey, Adrian, my brother, thank you so much for jumping on the first episode of the live show. I want to have you back on.
Man, it's my pleasure and my honor to be a part of it, brother. You're one of the coolest cats we've met in the industry, and one of the, you know, as you know, in your experience and what we've discussed off camera, you know, that genuine aspect of like, you know, it's this dude's just a real dude. You know, you're not full of shit, and my brother and I really appreciate that. You know, because it's the music business, brother.
Yeah, and again, we've talked a lot about these things off camera and for over the course of many years about these things. And there's a handful of people that I met in 20 years in radio that, I mean, I genuinely give a fuck about, like, to the core. How you doing? Like, and you and I can go 6 months without, like, you know, besides the social media when you were jumping on, I was like, you know, you pop into my head, or, you know, a song will come on and I'm like, yeah. Or fucking, you know, Jack Burton quotes come out and I'm like, that motherfucker.
How's he doing? You know what? That's again another funny. Okay, so my brother and I, we just did this post, and in the post is a picture of the two of us, and we asked people about, you know, tell us some story or how you met us and blah blah blah. And one of the comments had a picture from Radio Row, I think is what they called it, at that festival where we met you.
Yeah.
Was it Rockfest?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. And there was a picture from the guy who put Radio Row, we met you guys. And I was like, oh shit, dude, that's where I met Coop.
That's where we were sneaking you guys drinks. You're like, what is this? I'm like, I don't even know. Like, I don't even know what this is. Like, I just said, yeah, fill it up with some shit. And they're like, oh, Cooper, you're not supposed to carry more than 2 drinks out. I'm like, but what are you
gonna do? I'm Cooper, man. It's Cooper.
Oh, good. I'm gonna drink all. I'm gonna drink all this. Come on,
right? It's all for me, man. So, and I'm hoping, man. And then some other people actually posted from that same festival, from like the campground area.
Yeah, because you guys borrowed the golf cart.
And we borrowed the golf. Well, we brought it back. We did bring it back. We brought it back.
You just borrowed
it. And I'm like, man, like, is it? I hope it goes back to that, dude, because those experiences, like looking back now on them, is just like, wow, dude. You know, are those ever going to happen again? You know, is it ever going to be like that again? And even if it is, everyone's good. What is everyone going to be wearing 3 fucking masks? You know, it's just like,
10. If 2 is better than 1, 10 is better than 2. 6 feet of mask. Like a giant dick on your face, just running into fucking people. You know? It's horrible. This is the future until the zombies show up. And then we just fight them off with our masks, I guess.
I do. Yeah, with your mask, you just fight them off. You know, because the mask is
going to save us all. Adrian, Patrick, we are otherwise on all the social medias. Follow them on Twitch. And dude, I appreciate the time. It's always good catching up and seeing your face. And we'll chat soon, man. We'll chat soon.
All right, No Limit Cooper, baby. Welcome to Coopersville. Damn happy to be a part of it, brother.
Awesome, brother. Appreciate your time, man. Take care of yourself and your family.
All right, you too, brother.
Tiger's blood.
Tiger's blood, baby.
Adrian Patrick from Otherwise on the show. Really I always love talking to AP and always wish the best to them and to Ryan and all the guys and hopefully that tour goes off. And I know they got some Wisconsin dates too, so definitely check out We Are Otherwise on all their socials, because I think they got some Wisconsin dates. I'm pretty sure they do. So hopefully get a chance to go and hang out with them. I did see my buddy Phil was jumping on there, and so he's going to get back once he figures out the whole internet thing. So we'll get Phil Norvold on here. Still to come on the program, Jymmy Tollard of the Lonely Ones is going to be on. We got Neal Middleton of Royal Bliss. They also have a show tonight. I saw him post something that they have a show probably somewhere in Utah. Does anybody know? Like, nobody reports on what's going on in the state of Utah. Maybe it has like a wall around it. Like, we don't talk about what happens in the state of Utah, probably for a plethora of reasons. But Neal will be on, Vince Ebertz of Nuisance, and then Mitch from Wayland will also be coming on the show. So lots to get to. Wherever you are watching the show, I see we got Facebook is up and rolling. Thank you all for jumping on there. If you want to jump on the comments, of course, we can pop your questions on here. Or let us know where you're watching from. YouTube, the same thing in the comments. Let us know what you got going on, where you're at, what you're doing on a Friday night, and twitch.tv/No Limit Cooper or via the Twitch app. You can also check out the program, not just today, but every day, as this will be a Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. Central, plethora of conversation and rhetoric and just stupidity and the zombie apocalypse. So we're looking forward to that. I do know that coming up next week, we have some great artists going to be joining us. I just talked to Joey Armina. He's going to be on. Who else? Tim King of Soil is coming on next week. And October Rose, the country artists, are going to be on next Friday. They will be at Country Fest, which I am your MC of, coming up this June in Cadott. Get some comments over here. Becky's on. Yes, Rockfest is the best. I can't. Adrian wouldn't argue with that. I'm not going to argue with that. Rockfest is the best. And really excited for this July. Great lineup and great crew out there too. Always take care of us when we're there. One of the big things happened this week. We got Super Bowl coming up this weekend, Super Bowl 55. See, after the Packers lost, here's what happened. I disavowed football. I was like, you know what? I'm done. I don't want any part of it. I don't want to listen to what's going on. I don't want to listen to sports talk radio. My buddy Dan has got a great morning sports talk show. I'm like, fuck it. I'm not going to listen. I don't want to know all the heartbreak. But, then you get to Super Bowl week, and this one's kind of been, a little bit different. No Radio Row. There's been no media day. Really, they did like a virtual media day. I think the teams show up today or tomorrow. I don't know. I think maybe today. Except for Tampa, because obviously they're already there. But are you watching the Super Bowl? If you're watching on any of the social medias, let me know if you're watching the Super Bowl. Maybe who you're picking to win. Yes, I'll be at Country Fest, host with the most. It's a weird year. Like the Weeknd, who's doing the halftime show, which we could get into a long debate on. #Why is Metallica not done the Super Bowl halftime show yet? Oh no. But the Weeknd is doing the Super Bowl halftime show. Had to put up $7 million of his own money to pull it off. I've never heard any other artist. Usually like it's, the Pepsi Super Bowl halftime show. Pepsi's throwing a bunch of money in there. Pepsi's not doing any advertising during Super Bowl 55. Neither is Coke. Neither is Budweiser. I mean, how many iconic commercials? If you just watch Super Bowl for the commercials, how many iconic Budweiser ads have there been? That Lost Puppy one, I think they ran the 9/11 one, 10 years ago, with the Clydesdales kneeling. I mean, things that you're emotionally tied to. You may not give a shit about the game, but you're like, oh man, that commercial, man, got me right here. Not doing any advertising. I mean, I'd say I get it, but I don't get it. I mean, supposedly, I think I read that Budweiser is going to use the money they would spend on a Super Bowl commercial to help with COVID relief efforts. Okay. I mean, I get it. But don't you think, and we've discussed this a little bit, over the course of this show, that people need a sense of normalcy. And the Super Bowl is going to look weird. I think they have it's 30% capacity. That's like 22,000 people, which seems like a lot. But in a stadium that can hold 90 at Raymond James Stadium, it's going to look weird. And they're going to be in pods of people that somehow can afford to go to the Super Bowl in the middle of all this. And then they have a lot of frontline workers. I think a whole bunch of frontline workers from the Tampa, St. Pete area I get to go. But people need that sense of normalcy, like Super Sunday. It doesn't matter if you have a horse in the race or not. If you like Tampa or if you like Kansas City, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, you got, the future and the GOAT. People need to be like, oh, man, I can't wait to see that great Budweiser commercial because they're going to do something that's going to be epic and I'm going to cry. But no, not going to happen this year. It just seems like a weird decision to me. No Pepsi, no Coke, iconic brands. There's a lot of them that are not doing any advertising. You would think strictly from a marketing standpoint. I'll come at that and it may sound like an asshole. Strictly from a marketing standpoint, chances are there's going to be more eyes on the Super Bowl than in previous years. And it's besides soccer. I don't want to get into that debate. Besides soccer games, which are watched by billions of people in America, it's going to be one of the most viewed games, Super Bowls, probably in history because ain't nobody got nowhere to go. You would think that would be a great time to market yourself. And you pay marketing people a shit ton of money to come up with clever ideas of ways to get what you're trying to sell across. Maybe not even trying to sell anything. Budweiser really never tries to sell beer during any of their commercials. It's always, something heartfelt or some emotional tie-in. It's not like, grab a Bud. I don't know. I think they should have stuck with it, but that's just me. But it'll be a fun game. Patrick Mahomes, back-to-back Super Bowls. The future, I guess people are calling him in the NFL. Tom Brady, I think, as a Packer fan, I don't want to say the GOAT conversation is over. But if greatest of all time, GOAT, is based on Super Bowls, and you take the fact that Tom Brady left the AFC to come to the NFC and then took a team that, Tampa Bay had a pretty good roster. They were a quarterback short of being in contention. Tom Brady comes, Gronk comes, you sign a couple big name free agents, you got Antonio Brown, you got Mike Evans, you're in the Super Bowl. That even with all those weapons, it's still a pretty big feat. The Packers should have won that game, but let's not get into that. So you have the GOAT and you have the future. It should be a great game. Hopefully everybody gets a chance to enjoy it with family and friends, enjoy those moments because at this point, that's all we got. So Phil Norvold of Max-Bilt was supposed to be on here. He just texted me and said he sucks. I'll just tell him to jump back on because I saw his face pop up. It's the miracle of technology. We can text and be live at the same time. But so we'll get to Phil and also Jymmy Tollard of the Lonely Ones, formerly of Bobaflex. Spent many a raucous night with the Bobaflex guys and the Lonely Ones, their new project. He's coming up. They have a new single that just dropped today, so we'll talk about that. Neal from Royal Bliss, Vince from Nuisance. I talked to Vince earlier today because I noticed on his social media he's been posting him doing some rhymes with some beats behind it. I said, dude, why don't you do that shit on the show? So he's gonna drop some funky rhymes on us, and then Mitch from Wayland going to join us from Joshua Tree, California. and talk about all the things going on in Camp Wayland. So that's a lot of fun stuff coming up. I did see this, and I found this, I don't know, moronic, and yet, I don't know, super clever at the same time. So there is this, let me make sure I can read what this thing is. So apparently if you buy 1 square foot of land in Scotland, okay, 1 square foot of, obviously you're not going to do a whole lot with it. Plant a tree or something. I don't know. A small tree. If you buy 1 square foot of land in Scotland, that makes you a lord or a lady. So I become Lord Cooper and you become Lady Nicole if you own 1 square foot of land in Scotland. So how did I find out about such things? Was I Googling it for a great Valentine's Day gift? Fuck no. Just on the Insta, see this really weird looking ad. No, it's like, like somebody was knighting somebody. I was like, what is this? So there's this app, because of course there's an app for this, where you can go on and you can buy a square foot of land in Scotland. They send you a certificate that then makes you lord or lady, insert your name here. Comes with a plaque and everything. I don't think it comes with the swords. You can be, that's knighted though, isn't it? I don't know, it's weird. So what is it? Via Established. Via Established is the Instagram, and you can buy yourself or someone you love a foot of land in Scotland, and they will become a lord or a lady. Do you remember when buying somebody a star, was it like the star registry? Remember when that was a thing? Like what a farce that was. Oh, hey, honey, I bought you a star. You did. Yeah, it was like $9.99. And now your star is here in the sky somewhere. This reminds me of like the star registry. It does. I see you, Phil. I see. I'm going to add you here in a second. So if you want that square of land, I think as a thank you to Phil for joining me, what I'm going to do is, I was just talking about, you can go online, you can buy a square foot of land in Scotland.
Shit, I'm a lord already, brother.
You're a lord already?
Shit.
You're not you're the lord.
Where's my lord paperwork?
Lord of the dance, maybe. You're like the Michael Flatley, the bearded Michael Flatley.
I don't even know who that is.
He was the lord of the, remember like the Irish, the Celtic dancing, and they would all tap.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah, Michael Flatley, Lord of the Dance. You're Lord of the.
Where's my lord paperwork? My lordship paperwork. Oh, is it right here?
Yeah. Look at this.
What's up?
This wasn't even planned.
Oh, you don't have clothes on?
Well, this live show went. This is going to be taken off the interwebs. Yeah. Lord Phil Norvold is on the show now. Congratulations! Now I'm going to address you as that from here on out.
Oh, that's good. As long as we get that out of the way, I knew that piece of paper was good for something.
I feel like this information should have been passed along earlier. Like this has been a miss with us.
Well, I just feel like we just don't connect anymore.
Well, when you're a lord, I mean, I understand you got lordly things to do.
Well, I know, and dealing with all these peasants, I don't know.
You know, the peasants and their silly plagues. You know,
blah blah blah.
They're tough to wrangle. How you doing, bearded friend?
Good, man. Good. Busy. But
yeah,
that's good, right?
You've been out and doing stuff though. You've been taking the new whip around to places and getting out in the outdoors.
Miles on that thing. Yeah, we got it in October. We've got 11,000 miles on it already.
You've been some places.
Yeah, sir. So, new Jeep truck, Gladiator, diesel, blah blah blah. Doing a lot of the camping thing, the overlanding. That's
clever.
what everybody calls it now. I think it's also known as camping.
Well, I think in certain circles,
right,
it's overlanding.
Yeah, well, exactly. And that's we've been developing some new products around overlanding and whatnot. And so doing some product research and development, which is awesome because I enjoy getting out into the woods and getting lost. So that's definitely my favorite part of the job.
Do you have
So-
do you have a temperature that you just say no to? I'm just looking at this weekend and I'm seeing, the high temp on Sunday is like 4 below, wind chill about 36 below. Do you have a point, even though you're obviously, lumberjacky? I mean,
Well,
Lord,
I'll tell you, man, I
lumberjacky?
would normally I would say absolutely. That's just no, thank you. 3 weeks ago, I was up in Munising, Michigan, and I slept outside in a tent. And so, and it was kind of the same thing. It was, well, I guess it was, to be fair, it was like 19 degrees out. So it was pretty warm in comparison to 36 below.
Balmy.
But I wasn't uncomfortable really at all. And so, and then like anytime I'm like, oh, well, I'm just not going to do it. I just think about like, I don't know, people that didn't have the choice at some point. And then it's like, well, I can do it. If they can do it, I can do it. And then you just go hard and just say whatever.
So you revert back to the hunter gatherer.
It's a primal instinct.
Primal monkey brain. It's going to be fine. I'll sleep in a tree. That's
right. Exactly.
I mean, it makes sense.
I think I would say no. I wouldn't probably do it until somebody was like, "Bet you can't do it," and then it's like, "Well, let's just do it and see what happens."
Well, as a lord,
the thing is, I'm going to die.
You have to set as a lord, you have to set the example for the peasants. Like, stop being little bitches.
That's right.
Do this.
Yep.
Hypothermia.
What's that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, The Revenant?
Remnant, yeah.
Yeah, when he gets like mauled by a bear, Hugh Glass. I was reading a book about like old trappers and shit, and like we're pussies.
Oh yeah.
It's just the sheer fact of the matter.
You with your central air and your, I could just, what temperature do I want it to be upstairs when I'm done with this show? 78 sounds about good. I like a nice and warm.
Yeah. Or a dryer. Oh, you have a clothes dryer. Cool.
No, hang that shit on a stick over a fire, man.
Right. Yeah. I had to get naked and then like dry my shit. Yeah. It sucked.
It doesn't get any better. Okay, it does get better. I mean, we've come so far. We don't have to be naked when it's 36 out. Now we can dry our clothes in the dryer and then go back outside.
Right.
So it's been an interesting 14 months of 2020 now.
That's funny you say that because that was like everybody was like, oh man, January 1, that's gonna be the ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you mean December 32nd? Or whatever. I don't know how many days are in December, but I was confused with that. But it's like just felt like an extension of the year. It didn't really feel like, but also like, okay, I'm all right with it. Like we've had some great opportunities. It's been shitty as like a whole.
Right.
If you look at it on paper, it's probably not so great. But when I look my nuclear family and my the shop and the guys there, like we've all been there, we've all stepped up, we've all got it done, and that's provided a lot of awesome opportunities for us.
Do you find that some people took this opportunity there wasn't a whole lot, especially in, I want to say in the Jeep world, but the off-road world, when you have large scaled events, or big events over the course of, the summer into the fall, even into the winter, a lot of those things not happening. Do you find that a lot of people, took that time to maybe do some upgrades? Do you find yourself plenty busy at the shop with people doing things on the?
Yeah, we're definitely busy. Our service side, like it builds and general repair, like doubled last year, which to be honest with you, like people weren't driving, it shouldn't have. And yes, there was plenty more like upfitting as far as like, I'm going to take my vehicle and I'm going to go out into the woods. I'm going to go socially distance. So help set me up for that goal. There was plenty of that, but at the same time, I didn't think there was that much. And then like our product sales tanked,
right,
which I thought they were like amazing. And then, you know, you come up for air at the end of the year, you look at some of the numbers, and I was like, oh, not what I usually. I just like, you know, how are things doing? Well, I don't know. Go with what you feel. Pretty good, I think. You know,
I feel like they're decent.
apparently I just didn't know.
Yeah. Let's see. We got Nicole says, "Hey there, Wicked Beards. That could be the name of our band.
Yes.
Wicked Beards.
Could I be a drummer?
Yeah, you have to. Drummers always have to carry all the equipment, though. So,
Oh, all right.
you got to
How
be.
about light percussion, like a triangle?
There you go.
Tambourine.
Yeah, I think percussion. You got to cover all those things. You got the triangle, the tambourine, maybe a washboard. I think if you
Ooh.
incorporate that,
Absolutely.
you know,
I could do that.
That's right. Lord of the washboard. Yeah. So 2021, obviously, we talked about how it's really just an extension of 2020, just given all the stuff. But as you look on your calendar, because I know that, you know, with the spring eventually coming and summer eventually coming and the busy things on there, do you see a lot of things that are still on as far as like, you know, Easter Jeep Safari is coming up? I mean, things that you have planned.
And
still...
So like in March, we're my son and I are taking a trip out to the Grand Canyon for a week-long excursion, basically to get some content for some of these new products, but then also just to kind of get out with a couple other adventure buddies. But that's a fun, but definitely a work trip there. And then a couple weeks later is Easter Jeep Safari. I'm not going to be going, but I'm going to try to get some of my guys to go. We don't really know what it looks like, and it might just be there hanging out, getting more content, making some more contacts. And then we're doing, with our little marketing gig, we're doing some coverage of the Bassmasters tournament. We sponsor Pat Schlopper, who's a Shields ace angler that made it big time, and we've been helping him and supporting him. So we're going to do some coverage for him down in Texas. Not really have to do with Max-Bilt, but I don't know. I'm going to put his boat in with our Max-Bilt little truck on Champion Day or whatever race day. I don't know. Fishing day, angle day. I don't know.
Yeah,
Angling day. But and then of course we were hoping to do Epic Willie's Adventure in May. The more we're talking about, and I actually haven't released this information to anybody, so you're hearing it first.
Dun, dun, dun.
But it's looking like August, just because with things like slowly opening, and then things are like I've got a speaking event in May. I'm selfishly taking a little time. I'm going to go do one of those Spartan events in May. So and then it's my son's birthday in May. It's just one of those things where I feel like the floodgates are kind of going to be opening to the beginning of summer. That was going to be a hard one to regulate. So we pushed it back to August. But it's going to be go, but it's going to be go a little bit differently. Right. We're putting on the Max-Bilt side, we're putting a big focus into like digital ad marketing. We do a lot of content marketing, and our focus is organic, but once we know that people enjoy the things that we put out there for people to see, even like the social world it's a pay to play for and whether it's Google or Bing or Facebook, Instagram, they're what did my buddy call it? He's like, you want somebody that when they search Jeep, Max-Bilt pops up, hops in their back pocket, and follows them around the internet until they buy your shit. Oh, yeah. And I tell you, like, as frustrating as some of those ads on Facebook are, my buying habits alone, like that works for me. Right. I see something, and as much as I'm like, I'm only going, because I know I'm going to buy it. But so we're putting a lot of focus into that. We're working with a company out of Milwaukee, and I think that we'll kind of see what that can do for us. So if we can continue to grow the business and limit the boatload of travel that the money we would spend, and kind of refocus some of that, because we saw that we could survive a year without having to travel and go to all those events.
Right.
So now it's like, let's look at it differently and handpick the events we're doing.
Any plans for Vegas this year?
Well, that's one that we'll definitely be going to SEMA in November.
Mm.
Because
they canceled it, right? This last year they didn't.
Yeah, they canceled it, and we were gonna have our '67 Gladiator brought out in the Crown Automotive booth, but we'll probably bring that this year. And then what we were gonna bring this year, if all panned out, was that old bus that we bought, and we were gonna redo that. But I really need another year to build that bus because I can't fit it all in.
Right.
And
I saw that bus coming off the trailer, by the way. Yeah. Need a couple of minutes with that one. Need some time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, Phil, Lord Phil, of the Wicked Beards, he plays the triangle. By the way, we have to copyright that ASAP. Wicked Beards. So
Wicked Beards deal. I already got the T-shirt. It's trademarked, and I have the domain.
Make it so. Number one, make it so. Enjoy your weekend. Stay warm up here. It's going to be shit-tastic, but let's catch up sometime soon, my friend. Thanks for jumping on.
Yep. Thanks for having me. We'll talk later.
Better late than never. You're like the Titanic coming to port.
That's right.
As long as it gets here, it's cool, man.
I felt so bad. My buddy texted me. He's like, "When do you go on?" And I was like, "Shit, fuck, sorry."
It's all good, man. It's live. We make it work. I just talk shit for 20 minutes.
Right. All right, we'll see you, bud.
Catch up soon, man. All right, Phil Norvold of Max-Bilt Off-Road and Manufacturing. Check them out on their Insta at Max-Bilt Off-Road MFG and at Mr. Max-Bilt. That's Phil Norvold. Keeping on with Cooperville Live. Thank you to everybody who's jumping on here and being a part of this, whether you're on Facebook or you're on the YouTube or you're on the Twitch. It is my greatest pleasure to bring on my friend Jymmy Tollard of the Lonely Ones. How you doing, my friend?
Cooper, what's up, buddy? Been a while.
The dream, man. How about yourself?
Pretty bored, but staying kind of busy, I guess.
Well, dude, you guys just dropped a new song today, man. It's fucking it bangs, man. It bangs.
You dig it, man? Good. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
So, I'm trying to. I kind of know behind the scenes a little bit because obviously I've known you guys for a long time. I know a lot of band guys for a long time. The old process of putting a song out, it had its difference. You could do different things, do it different ways. What's it like trying to put music out when it's tough to get together with everybody? What was the process like to get out, change the station?
Man, it was tough, like with some of our earlier songs, because we were a lot more, literally locked down. This one, we recorded this, I want to say it was like late October. It's kind of about the social climate right now. So our original goal was to put it out on November 4th. We were going to rush it. Right. And we ended up, we partnered up with a new record label called Imagine Records, new to us. They're not new. And they wanted to delay everything a little bit. So this has actually been way easier than what I'm used to, because normally, I'm going through like the 3 to 5 week slog of, double checking, going through our distribution that we go through, all that. And it's a lot more work than I care to put in. So it's kind of nice to have somebody else handling it.
Right. No, man, it's a fucking great tune. And I think even, not releasing it on that specific date, that specifically targeted date, I still think the validity of it. And I even saw you jumping on, and it was like, was it Newsmax, or I saw you jump on something and post like, here we wrote this song just for you guys. It was like, change the station, like this motherfucker.
You caught me in a private moment of being a dick. No one was supposed to see that, and then I saw a bunch of people told me they saw it.
Well, it's like, it's like sponsored. It's sponsored, and I'm like, whatever this is. And then I see like your name, like, well, what is he saying here? Let me do a little bit of research before I talk to this cat in a couple hours. So no, that's,
you caught me with my pants down on that one. I was just insulting people. I thought it was private. I thought nobody could see.
Yeah. Damn the interwebs, and it's mass.
It's everywhere, man.
No, man, it's been a minute since you and I got a chance to chat and hang out.
Yeah, a couple years, I'd say, huh?
Yeah, I mean, since the Bobaflex days, I know there was, the transition into the Lonely Ones, and but the sound, dude, I just, me, I like dirty fucking rock and roll. I mean, that's that's been my thing forever. And this sound that you guys have is just that. It feels like I need to be in a packed club, you know, in some state where you can still smoke inside, because it needs to have that like fucking haze, you know, over the crowd. You know, I need to have a couple beers spilt on me, probably some shots of Jägermeister, and I need to be at this show, because the vibe is just, man, it's so fucking spot on.
Oh, thank you so much, man. I can't wait to actually do that.
Right. Have you guys played a show yet? Have you had a chance to?
We did one socially distanced show back in July, and it was cool. It was a really good time, but you know, like you said, there's a certain vibe that comes with a huge packed, you know, sardine can of people, and it's just different playing for, you know, people that are much more spread out. They're way further away.
Right.
The vibe is just different.
Yeah, I talked to Matt James, Blacktop Mojo. They're doing a show tonight down in Houston, and it's that socially distanced. You know, everybody's got, you know, they got table, you know, the X's on the floor, and they got tables, and everybody's in kind of a pod thing. And you know, I think there's an excitement to do a show, but I mean, I've seen you play. You know, I've seen you on at Rockfest. I've seen you in small venues, and you know, the feel of you guys and a bands like Blacktop Mojo and a handful of others, like you gotta be like shoulder to shoulder, man. You gotta be just, you know,
you nailed it.
You know, it's gotta be dirty. And
yeah,
we can't wait till we can, you know, get back to that. I bet
dying,
you guys,
man. Yeah. Can't wait.
Have you thought about the moment? Have you thought about the moment when, you know, you're side stage or you're backstage, you know, before the house lights come up, you know, that moment I had Marc-On from the Violet, and I was talking to him about this a little bit. You know, for me as the guy who usually goes out and does the introduction, you know, they come up and they raise the house lights, and I'm like, and I say motherfucker like 12 times, because it's just like,
you have to.
It just flows. I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, and it's just, you know, and you get them riled up, and then they bring the lights back down. And I think I've come when you guys were at Rockfest. I've come like right past you, and you guys are on the side of the stage. You know, you're doing the neck thing. You're just getting loose, getting ready to go. The lights go down. How jacked are you for that moment at a fucking packed venue when you're side stage, the lights go down, and it's time to just rip? I mean, are you clawing at the wall yet?
Oh, in so much, man. Honestly, I'll probably be nervous, which I'm used to not being nervous before shows. I bet you I get that butterflies in my chest again.
Yeah, and it's probably been a minute since that, because you've been doing the stage for a minute.
Yeah. It was probably around the time I did one of my first shows with you up in Eau Claire, and it was one of the birthday bash. It happened to be my birthday too. And I remember getting butterflies and all that, and getting real scared.
No, man, yeah, it's been a minute, but I think that the fact that there's still music coming out, I don't think anything excites me more, because there was a lull when when it was 15 days to flatten the curve, and everybody's like, this is just a short break, it's going to be fine. And then that got extended. Obviously now we're like, I don't know, fucking
10 months, something.
Yeah, some 10 months and 15 days we're flattening the curve still. But there was that lull when everybody like didn't know what the fuck was going on, and there was just nothing, you know. And then, but when new stuff comes out, like when you guys came out, you're dropping some stuff, or you're popping in on social media, like that is like that's what's keeping, I think, rock fans, especially because you know how passionate they are about the music. That's what's keeping them like from losing their shit, is like, okay, we got a new Lonely One song today. Okay, we're good. Like we can get through the weekend. Like it's going to be fine. We're going to live.
That's how I feel on my end. You know, I'm very much like I'm living one project to the next, whether that's an hour-long thing or a 3-month-long thing. You know, I'm always set. Okay, what's next on the calendar here? So it's definitely, that's what's keeping me sane through all this.
Well, I'm glad you're keeping sane, man, and it's so good to catch up with you. I appreciate you being a part of the first episode of Cooperville Live, and tell people where they can go and get the new fucking song, man, because it's killer.
You get it anywhere. I think I'm about to put the link on my Facebook page, Jymmy Tollard. You can go Spotify. You can go. We got the video up on YouTube, Apple Music, wherever you get it, it's there.
Jymmy Tollard, The Lonely Ones. The new song is Change the Station, and it's again, it fucking rips, and it is so appropriate for this time that we are in. Yeah, I mean, nail on the head, man. Congrats to you and the guys. Tell everybody I said hello and I miss their faces and I can't wait to fucking see you guys in person and have a drink and fucking rock out, man. It's gonna be a good time.
Can't wait, buddy.
Awesome, Jimmy. Take care of yourself, man.
Be good, man.
Next time we get you on, we're gonna talk baseball, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, brother. Take care of yourself, man.
Later, buddy.
Later. Jimmy Tollard of the Lonely Ones. New song is out today. It's called Change the Station. It is Cooperville Live for all of you who are watching on Facebook and on YouTube and on Twitch. Thank you. Make sure you jump on the comments, leave some questions. I got to get this on here. Too bad Jimmy just jumped off. Near this one. he does kind of look like Steven Tyler. He's got that look about him. And his moves on stage are the same way. Crazy. Holy crap. Without further ado, it's Neal Middleton of Royal Bliss and his creepy ass. Is that your face underneath that mask? It's your mask and underneath the mask.
I had to just keep it on, but my wife made me shave my mustache off, so this way I can still keep it.
This is revolutionary, Neal. This is, I mean, what she needs to do is patent that shit. Like, did you lose your beard during the COVID?
No, I grew a mustache because I've never really grown a mustache, and I had short hair now. And like with the long hair, I pulled the beard off just fine, but with short hair, the beard looks a little weird. So I did November and grew out the mustache, and I kind of liked it, but it started taking over my personality, and at that point it was like, and the wife, every time we made out, my hair went up her nose, and she didn't like that.
Yeah. And
if that was preventing other things from happening, from it going beyond the making out, then the mustache had to go.
I get it.
I still got this.
It lives in infamy. You kind of got the I'm still Magnum PI, but only under the mask. I love it, man. I mean, you probably scare small children with that, but that's all right.
There are a lot of people with that.
How you been, brother?
I've been good, man. Been good. We've been surviving and just trying to stay busy. We got a bunch of new music coming out and new videos and hopefully get back on the road sometime at the end of May. We're fingers crossed. I'm actually in a venue right now. We're doing our Tom Petty tribute tonight here in this beautiful room.
Look at that.
Yeah, look at this place.
That's a beautiful room there, bro.
But we have 1,000 people in here, but tonight we're only allowed to have 200. But it's really safe. Like, see how far the chairs are away from each other, and everybody has. You have to wear a mask coming in, and then once you sit and have a drink, that you can take your mask off. But it's a beautiful stage. I'm just fortunate that here in Utah, we're able to follow some guidelines, and they're still able to keep our friends in business and keep our friends working. I had one of the guys helping us load in today, and he's just like, "Thank you so much for doing this and playing a show, because it gives them a job." And so a lot of people don't think about that, all the people behind the scenes. And so for us, we have the Royal here in Salt Lake, and we're able to play there. And the Royal's been helping us stay alive, and we've been helping keep the Royal alive. And then venues like the Depot and a few other spots that we try to support the best we can. We do it in a safe way, but it's funny because people will still slam us, but you're probably more likely to get COVID at Costco or Walmart than you are at one of these venues.
Yeah, it's good for you guys, I think. And I know it's tough. I know it's tough because you guys, the crowd and you, that relationship is something special. And that's a lot of rock and roll bands. I mean, that's where the energy is. So I know it's got to be challenging to be in a room. It's a beautiful room as that is, but to have everybody be kind of spread out.
It's kind of like playing a dinner club.
What are you having with your steak? Did you go with the mashed potatoes or did you go with the fries?
Yeah, as silly as that sounds, it does feel like that. I mean, it's way different, but we're just happy to be able to do it. And, when you talk to the fans and the people that are coming to the shows, how much it means to them to be able to go out and like the mental release, that people have. I've had grown men crying, coming up to me just thanking, like, "Thank you so much. I haven't seen a show in 6 months, and being here, I realize how important it is to me." So I see that side of it, where like this is actual medication for people, especially from the mental standpoint, because so many people are depressed and starting to lose their shit. And, when you're able to come into a live concert and have that connection with other humans, even though you're apart from each other, it's important. And I'll never take being on stage for granted ever again. Not that I did too much in the first place, but any moment when I was like, "Oh, I don't feel like playing tonight," I'll never have that feeling ever again.
Yeah. And I've said that repeatedly over the course of the last 10 months plus is from a fan's perspective. anytime an artist is in town or a band that you like, or maybe a band you don't, know one song of, or any band in general that is in your town on a given weeknight or a weekend, you really need to rethink how much you took for granted when that band was in town. Like, it's, I'll see them. They'll be next run, they'll probably they'll do a fall tour and I'll catch them then. But how much people will be just itching to get back out anytime there's a show in town. I mean, I've been encouraging them on the podcast, on social media. I'm like, go and see the fucking show. I mean, you gotta, you realize now how much shit can be taken away just like that. Go and see the show, because tomorrow, who the fuck knows? Who knows what's gonna happen?
Yeah. It's funny when you hear people talking about, like, I'll never complain about paying $15 for a beer again.
Okay, right? I
it's
could really use an overpriced beer right now. I mean, about $15 for, like, a 12-ounce, tap light beer. Sounds delicious.
Yeah, exactly.
But not for you though, because are you back on the fucking 75 hard? You doing the damn thing again?
Yeah, I'm doing the damn thing again. I did a whole year. I did 365 days without any alcohol, and I did probably 150 days of that as with the 75 hard kind of lifestyle. And then I went, I fell off the wagon for 2 weeks, and then now I'm right back on which was my plan all along, was just, I just want to be ready, and mentally, physically, whenever the floodgates open, I want to be at the highest level I can possibly be. And I think, a lot of all the ones that, all the band members and people like that, I think I've talked to so many of them that are in the same kind of mind frame of, like, when we get out of this, we are going to kick so much ass, and never take for granted our health, never take for granted the ability to play music, and being in front of a crowd and just destroying them with is the best that we have. I mean, like, in the past, there's so many shows, a lot of our fans out there know that, I drink a lot, and sometimes it's not my best show, and I'm hammered drunk on stage, or I'm overweight and I'm out of shape, and huffing and puffing and trying to catch my breath to get the lyrics out, or on tour whenever, it's not my best performance, and I never want to be in that situation again. So through this last year, I've focused on taking care of myself, and that's one of the most positive things about this whole shit was, I was able to be home and not be on tour. I was able to focus and get better habits in my life and spend time with my family, spend time with my boys, and build a relationship with them that I've never had. But it really helped me focus on my health, and because so many times if I'm home for a month or 4 weeks and I'm like, all right, I'm going to work out, I get back on the road, and so many of the bands out there know this, that, the first week or so, you're pretty good on tour, where it's like, yeah, I'm doing good, I'm eating healthy. And then by week 2, it starts going downhill. And by week 3, week 4, you're just back in the same shit and bad habits, and eating pizza and cheeseburgers and whatever else is thrown in your face with a bottle of Jägermeister. And I think I have a little bit more control going into 2021 touring.
Dude, that's fucking impressive, especially given, really not just band guy, but like everybody was given this free pass to be like, hey, here's what we want you to do. Stay home and don't do anything. This is your opportunity. Lay on the couch, don't get up, don't do anything. Yeah. You're like, I raised my hand. Nobody called on me. I'm like, I feel like we should be telling people something else. Like, I feel the narrative needs to be, maybe don't do that.
Yeah.
Maybe find a hobby. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Stamps, and then go for a walk. Do something. But
yeah, that's one thing that we should have focused on. Like, it's the people that have other conditions and that are unhealthy that COVID's affecting the most. And the best thing I can do is take care of myself, at least give myself a fighting chance if it's something that's going to affect me. And for everybody too, like, instead of just staying home and eating potato chips and pizza all day and getting fatter and more lazy, it's like, all right, I gotta be active, because I want to be back out there as soon as possible. I want to be playing shows. I want to be hugging our fans and seeing all our friends and not be worried at all. Like, I'm not scared now. If I get COVID, I feel like I'll be fine. I'll make it through it and no worries. But, a year and a half ago, I don't know that, I'm 250 pounds or whatever I was at that point, 240 pounds, and not healthy. I'm clinically obese at that point. And so it's like, I got to do all the things I can so I can get back to work.
Good on you, man. That's impressive, especially during all the the excuse-filled landscape we live in right now. To again, that free pass has been given out, but to stay on top of it, man. And I'll get you out of here with this. I know you got to get ready for a show, but you mentioned writing some new stuff. Obviously, this has given a lot of opportunity to a lot of artists to put pen to paper. Sometimes you got to do it in different ways, but I guess thankfully for technology, you can do these kind of things. Is there an expectation for some new music to drop anytime soon? I'm not specific dates, because I know you got some things, but are you working on getting some new stuff out?
We got a new song coming out February 12th, and then we're going to be releasing basically a new song every 4 to 5 weeks until August, when we plan on releasing the whole album. But we're just going to put out, because we've been writing and recording. So we have a ton of new material that's coming out, just like the Lonely Ones. It was so good to see Jymmy on there. I missed those boys. And all the bands that are on this whole list, man, what's up to all of them. And I can't wait to share the stage with them again. And I can't wait to hear what they've been working on. Royal Bliss is going to be bringing the fire. And I know all the bands that are on here, Mike Protich and my boys from Blacktop, Mojo. And man, I'm just excited to see the music that comes out next year or this year.
Yeah, I think everybody's looking forward to that. If there is a silver lining in all this, it's a couple of things that you touched on. It's the fact that you've had a lot of time and probably some new emotion.
To
write on. And the new music that's going to come out of this is going to be fucking spectacular. And you also have, and I talked to Mike about this from The Violent, I was like, is it just inside? I mean, there's like this energy inside of you just waiting for the lights to go down on a big show where it's fucking shoulder to shoulder. And he's like, I hope I don't blow up. I hope I don't just explode at some point before that moment happens, because the energy that's built up to get back out and do these shows is, from everybody I've talked to today and everybody I've talked to on the show, on the podcast, it's like this itch that needs to be scratched in the worst way.
My sensitive ass will probably be crying.
You will be too. You'll come out. The fucking bass line will drop and you'll come out and be like, I just want to say I missed you, motherfucker, so much.
Crowd start hugging people. It'll be.
I love you, and I love you, and I love you. Oh man, hey Neal, it's so good to fucking see your face, even with the creepy ass mask on. It's good to see your face, and I'm glad you kept the stash alive in some form. For us, facial hair folk, it's good to see you keeping the flame burning, scaring the small children. Yeah, that's just something all kinds of special, my friend.
Do a tour near you here soon.
Neal, Royal Bliss, hey, good luck on the show tonight. Hope it all goes well. Let me know what they have with their steak at the at the dinner table. And man, I can't wait to see you at a fucking show, man. I can't wait to see you back up here. Looking forward to it, man.
And this, much love.
All right, take care of yourself, brother.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Neal Middleton, Royal Bliss, and his creepy ass mask on the show. That was beautiful. Love that guy. That's good though. It's good to hear from all these bands out here today that have been a part of the show, and just the excitement that they feel to getting back. I know some of them are doing shows, and we talked to Jymmy or Matt Jymmy James from Blacktop Mojo, and they're doing a show tonight, and a couple of the guys doing some shows here and there. But man, it just doesn't have that feel like every weekend or every weeknight there's a show. But we'll get there, man. We'll get there. I promise you. Again, thanks to all of you who are watching on whatever platform you are on. Make sure you jump in the comments, jump some stuff on there. Yes, the Steven Tyler and Jymmy thing. I'm going to text him that after we get off the show here. But to move on with the program, Vince, my friend, my brother from another. How you doing, friend?
How are you, brother?
Doing good, man. Rocking through the first live show. I got to say thanks to you for being a part of it, man. I fucking love it.
Super stoked to be here. I don't have a creepy ass face mask though. I'm disappointed in myself, and
well,
next time.
Luckily, so from my vantage point, so I obviously right now I can see what we're streaming live, and I can see who's in the green room down here. So luckily I saw it before it came on the screen, because I may have sworn. Oh wait, I've seen that the whole time.
Are we not supposed to swear? I should have.
No,
probably.
It's actually encouraged. My goal with this show is to see if we can get kicked off of every platform.
Fuck yeah, dude! All right.
How you been? Yeah. How you been?
Been good, man. Just working through all this COVID shit, trying to make music. Doing what we're all trying to do, right?
Yeah, I think the and you heard me talking about this. I know you were in the green room talking with Neal, but the time that you guys have had, that artists have had during all this, and I saw some of the stuff you've been posting on social media, dropping some fucking fat rhymes, dude. I'm just got me all jacked to get you on here and stuff. But do you feel like, because of the time, I know you guys, love to be on stage. I mean, when you post videos, old videos of you guys doing shows and stuff, I know you just, you want to fucking feel the energy again. Are you kind of harnessing that into, like, to writing new stuff and to kind of show up a little bit?
For sure. I mean, I think what it all boils down to, like, regardless of the success or how much you're touring or how many shows you're playing as a musician, and I'm sure I can speak for the other dudes on here, is like, that's therapy, man. It's more than just playing a show and just putting your music out there. It's like legitimately mental health, So when you take that away from some of us, it's just tough, man. And having that family, being a Minnesota boy and Midwest in general, we got family in every state in the Midwest, and when you don't see them people for so long, it's tough, man. So yeah, I'm storing it up and getting ready to drop it off here. I mean, we got Rockfest coming up, which I still, fingers crossed that's gonna happen, but who knows, really.
Yeah, man. I think everybody is excited because they've seen, obviously, Rockfest. The lineup is out, it's posted. There's been no alterations to it, so that means the bands roll in. Danny Wimmer just posted a bunch of stuff over the last couple of weeks about their shows going on. You've seen outside of the festivals that didn't make it, and people get confused because they see stuff that's, well, we're not doing, this thing isn't happening, or this festival in Omaha isn't going down. They see things like that, and automatically now the assumption is that it's being canceled because of COVID. Well, a lot of these festivals aren't operating at a capacity where they can afford to lose a year of revenue. It's not built that way. So some of these just, and not to discourage any of the other festivals, I have a bias to Rockfest because I'm obviously employed there, and that's my family. But I think when you have the strongest of the festivals that survive, it is going to make all of those festivals better, because it's the whole less is more thing. If there's less of them, obviously the talent and the amount of artists that can get through there is going to increase, because there's going to be less to spread around throughout the course of a summer. But no, man, Rockfest is on the calendar. I got my fucking dates are cleared. I'm going forward in this vision that this is what
going regardless. So you know what? You're gonna, I don't know, it's happening. That's all there is to it. It's been too long. So
be there hell or high water. But dude, I wanted to see if you I know you've been writing a lot, and you've been throwing some fucking shit down on social. Man, if we want to drop some shit, and you want to do some things.
Yeah, dude, I'll drop some shit. I wish I had a beat though. It's kind of hard to, freestyle without a beat, but I don't know. Might as well, for those of you watching, can't go to shows, I'll just, I don't know, see if I can come up with something. I was working on this one earlier this month, but it's like, I can't throw myself to the breeze, that's what they say, and you've gone away, much to my dismay, and all the games you play, how does it feel to feel no pain? And you've gone away, much to my dismay. So I carry the weight, I bear the burden. Maybe I should have been a little more assertive. I know that you're hurting, knowing that I'm dwelling in my own personal hell. Here's a list of why I should be burning in this hell. Try to break free, but nothing free comes easy. Nothing is actually for free. So I swing from the tree and take some shit like that. I don't know.
No beat.
It's hard to vibe without a beat, man.
You don't need no beat, man. We just do that shit. Fucking killing it, man. Killing it. No, I'm so super stoked to get you guys back up and out and doing shows, man. I know that's been kind of the fucking the theme of all the artists that I've talked to today is that, really taking this time to hone in on the craft and to do all the right things and to get yourself in a position where you're just ready to go out and just fucking kill it. And I'm excited to get you back out here to fucking kill some shit, man. I'm looking forward to it, my friend.
Yeah, man. We're been working on like a cool acoustic hip hop project, and we're planning on some stuff out in the Wisconsin area. So I'll definitely keep you posted. You guys are living like the wild, wild west out there, so things aren't.
I know,
man. It's nuts, dude. It's like Mardi Gras.
It really is. And all you fuckers from Minnesota keep on coming over and, getting in trouble over in Hudson.
What you're talking about, man. I wasn't in Hudson last weekend.
Yeah, plausible deniability, they call that. I can't confirm or deny any of this, man. It's Ebertz, Nuisance, my friend. If we will chat soon. We'll get you back on the show here sometime, man. Appreciate you taking the time out.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Do your best. Thank you. Vince from Nuisance on the program. I really appreciate everybody who's joined today. It's been an exciting first day of Cooperville Live. We're into 2 hours and 40 minutes of conversation, and it only gets better because my long lost friend Mitch is here. He is live. He is in the Joshua Tree.
What's up, man? Can you hear me okay?
You sound great. You sound great as always, Mitch.
Good.
How you doing, my friend?
Dude, fantastic. It is a beautiful Friday afternoon here in Joshua Tree, California. And the studio is clean. It looks really nice. And it's good to be here with you. It's good to see you, Coop.
Dude, it's good to see your face again, man.
Look at your beard, dude. Incredible, man. Wow.
Well,
ambitious.
I'm a lumberjack now. So I mean,
badass, man. Good to see you.
No, it's all good, man. It's been a minute since we caught up, but you guys have been and I've known you for it feels like for a long
10
time.
years, about 10 or 11 years.
10 years. And I've always said, because and especially when we first met and up until the world shut down about a year ago, I'm like, nobody works harder than Mitch and Phil. I mean,
that's the truth.
You guys were doing 300 and some dates a year, coming up to the middle. I mean, and coming up to the middle of Wisconsin in like a fucking February, which is no cakewalk. Snowstorms, ice storms, below zero wind chills.
Well, hey, the thing is, even when Wisconsin is experiencing that type of weather, the people of Wisconsin still want to get out and go to rock and roll shows. So it works out. If you can stand the weather and make your way over there, it's worth your trip, because those people are going to be excited to see you.
Yeah, we made you play in some fucking weird places too, man. And I feel like I should have been like, let's play on the ice. I have an idea. Let's play on the ice.
We've played anywhere, everywhere, and I'm sure everybody that has been on your show today could attest. When you're out there doing shows like that and you're just trying to get your name out there, if you're not doing everything that you can to do that, you're doing it wrong.
Right. But it's so good to see you. It's been so good to catch up with everybody that's been on the show today, but for you especially, because you guys have done, you got like Wayland TV going on. You guys have really embraced, I think, during all this, and you've always had this connection with Wayland fans that's pretty close to second to none. There's always been this camaraderie. There's a great back and forth, but you guys have kind of taken it and really embraced how to keep these people who are a lot of them still locked down. I know out in California, there's a lot of people that you really can't. My mother lives up in Northern California. So she's like, I haven't gotten my hair cut in a year. I'm like, you look fine, Mom.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I got to say, the Wayland Warriors are the absolute best support group that we could ever ask for. A year ago, whenever this all started, whenever we were at a friend's house in March down in Boca Raton, Florida. His name is Randy Goldfarb. He's a dentist for the Miami Heat. He takes care of Aerosmith when they come into town. He works with all these big people, and he hired us for his birthday. We went down there, and we actually got quarantined there for 40 days and 40 nights in his house. And that first week, we really didn't know what to do. you know? So we kind of like took it as a sign from the universe to take a few days and chill, which we did. We like hung out by the pool. The people that were already over there, we were quarantined with, so we were having parties every night and everything like that. And we spent that first week kind of designing what we wanted to happen for the rest of the time. However long we were going to be in Florida, we were going to do X, Y, Z. And so we started playing the quarantine concert series. And the Wayland Warriors got on there every single night for about 30 days.
Wow.
And we got to interact, and we got to play for them. We got to play the things that we had been writing, all that kind of stuff. And throughout this entire lockdown, they have been the absolute best support that a band could ask for. And on the flip side of that, when we're doing lives or when we're doing private concerts for our fans, and whenever we're doing things like that, we see that reciprocated. And you see people talking like, this is what I look forward to every Thursday. Our Thursday request lives that happen every Thursday, they're like, I look forward to Wayland every single week. And you know that you're doing the right things by staying connected to the people that are supporting you on the road, and you're staying connected to those people that are pushing and loving your music. And it's not in the setting that we thought it was going to be in this year. It's not in the wasn't a part of our plan, right, you know, but we had to roll with it. We had to adapt. And I got to say, you know, would I like to be out on the road playing shows right now? I would, but I've never been more happier in my life. And I think I can speak for Phil. I think he'd say the same thing. So my personal health is telling me I'm doing the right things for my business, you know?
Right. And I think you know this, and a lot of artists understand this. Even the most diehard of fans, and maybe not the most diehard, but if you have some of the Warriors, if you go for a long period of time without connecting with them, and this is even, you know, say pre-COVID, 6 months off, or even, you know, album cycles are, I don't want to say they're a thing of the past. I think the way technology works right now, it's a silly notion to do an album cycle of things. But if you're away for a while, the longer you're away and you don't have touch, you don't have like a post on Instagram, or you don't have, you know, anything given any update of what's going on. The website, gets dated, not that they stop caring, because they still have the catalog, they still have the music, but their energy towards that band kind of starts to fade until they come back and they're like, oh yeah, that's right. And they reestablish, that connection. What I think it's been fun to watch for me, from my perspective, is that you and Phil have never, during all of this, lost any touch with the fan base. There's constant connection. There's constant interaction. There's back and forth. It's not, a lot of times even when you guys are doing, acoustic stuff, there's a connection to the fans. You're reading off comments. I mean, especially for a fan base of rock and roll, who, this is just killing them. They want to be at a show. They want to have beer spilt on them. They miss that so much. But this is kind of like the next best thing, is to have one of their favorite artists that is there in front of them, performing their music and conversating with them. I mean, it's a real unique, intimate relationship that I think once the shows open back up, once Wayland's back out on the road and pounding pavement and kicking ass, I mean, I imagine that relationship has grown immensely stronger over the course of this time.
Absolutely. And I think it's built a lot of love and trust between each other. And, we're working really hard not to like, how do you say, just saturate it and give them give to the point where we don't have any more to give.
Right.
But I think we found a really cool rhythm with, like I said, it's a back and forth thing. We meet up on Thursdays and sometimes we go live randomly. But our core, the people that are there supporting us every day in this, they have carried us through, we have carried them through, and you feel that synergy. You know, we don't know how long this is going to be. We don't know how long it's going to be before we're going to feel good about going out on the road. But we know that in the meantime, it's important for us to keep creating and keep putting out music. I mean, that's what we do. So I think any artist right now, from Miley Cyrus and Foo Fighters all the way down to the bands that were playing the back room at the smallest bars, you know, you have to adjust, you have to adapt. I'm very blessed to have Phil and Alyssa and this amazing team here in the desert, you know, and we've all stayed on the same wavelength. We've all stayed on the same frequency. And we're coming out of this feeling really good, if we are coming out of this. But yeah, we feel great, man. We wake up every day and we love each other. And I feel really lucky to be able to say that.
You know, outside of the stuff that you're doing, obviously to interact with fans, I mean, what's a day like? I mean, are you working on the music? Is there a lot of writing going on? I imagine.
Great question. So,
especially in a place like Joshua Tree, I mean, you're in like this iconic place.
Yeah.
Imagine the
this morning I took a sunrise hike with a buddy of mine. We went on this like really badass trail in Joshua Tree, the state park, and we left here at like 5:30 and we caught the sunrise on the top of a mountain, and it was unreal. Right. But for the last few months, Phil and I have been recording a full-length record from right here in this room. And so our day kind of consisted, and it was like loose, but you know, like we both knew what was expected of each other. I would usually wake up like around 5:30 or 6, and I get my for anyone that knows Philip Valinsky, I just want to say, if you've ever lived with him, if you've ever worked with him, good luck keeping up. If you have anything that you need to do during your day, make sure that you get it out of the way before you start working with him, because he is blessed with this like infinite amount of work energy. So if there's anything that I need to do for my day, like, you know, emails or taxes or whatever I need to do, I use that time between 5:30 and 9 o'clock to do. That may consist of meditation, writing, or and then I work out every day, right? So I'll get my workout in, and then at 9 o'clock, the three of us would come in here and kind of go through like a meditation together of like intention, what we want to see happen for the day. And then we'll do that really quick. And then the three of us usually have to talk about some business. You know, we'll go over the plan for next week, or if we're traveling, or if we're riding with somebody else, or whatever, you know, like whatever the schedule is calling for, we'll talk about it at 9 o'clock. And then Phil and I will dive into what we need to do. And we usually will work 9:30, 10 o'clock, and we'll go until we try not to burn out, because our studio is at our house, you know, so like we didn't really feel like we had a time limit to finish anything. As we got closer to the end, we were like, okay, we want to be done by this date, you know. So we would just work in here usually until dinner time. And then you know, whatever needed to get done in here, whether it was we were tracking drums, which we track drums in here, whether we were tracking drums, guitar, vocal, overdubs, whatever, we would get that stuff done, and it's always in an organized, loving fashion. And if it didn't feel, and this is kind of cool for anybody that doesn't know, if it didn't feel loving in the moment, we just didn't work that day. And like Phil and I might rub about something, and we're just like, you know what? Hey, listen, like, this feels really good. Let's just wait until tomorrow to dive into this. Like, we figured it out. You know, we hashed it out a little bit. Totally cool. Let's just wait until tomorrow. And I'm really blessed to have such an incredible partner. You know what I mean? Like, we're very aware of each other and each other's energies. And if one of us is kind of off, which is a human thing to have happen, the other one is like, hey, dude, let's just work tomorrow. And we have that freedom with what we're doing. So we'd get done with all that kind of stuff. And then we've got a really cool core group of friends that are here that have been here with us the whole time. You know, a group of like 8 to 10 people, and we'll get together with 2 or 3 of them at night, or with nobody. We'll have fires in the backyard. We've got like a really beautiful home with a fire pit in the back, and we put down the work and just really enjoy where we get to live, man. I can't say enough how thankful and grateful, blessed I feel to be here.
Dude, I love so much about all of that. I mean, the fact that you have, and I'm a morning routine guy, and
are you?
Oh, dude,
I have to have my routine. I do. I just do.
And I just don't know if people understand how valuable that is. Because you start talking about things, and like, I get it. I meditate, the intentions,
yeah,
workout in the morning. Like, some people look at that and they go, but until you do it, until you implement that in your life, and you get into this regiment, when it doesn't even become a routine anymore, this is just the day. The day
it's like your prescription medicine.
Yeah. If I don't get up, and if you miss, and because I have days, because sometimes I have my kid here.
Yeah, man.
But if you miss something, like if you are deep into it, it will stick in your craw. Like, you know what I should have, I didn't get my meditation today, and you can tell.
You would feel it. I mean, I've done a really, through the years, if anybody has been rigid with schedule, it is me. Mm-hmm. I get married to things. I get attached to a schedule, and I find a lot of medicine and a lot of relief in routine. Yeah. Thankfully, I have a partner that is constantly shaking me out of that routine and pushing me out of my comfort zone, which is a beautiful thing, man. It's really cool. But I'm thankful that this year, especially, I have kind of come out of that to where, if I don't get my workout in, Mitch, it's not the end of the world.
Right.
Like, you're going to get those good feelings coming in when you're writing and working with Phil, and I'll get slightly annoyed right in the moment, like, oh shit, man, I didn't get my workout in. Right. Or like, are you going to let this affect your creativity in the studio?
Yeah.
Or are you just going to, it's going to be simple, like you just didn't get your workout in, and that's okay. Right. So I have definitely been on both ends of the spectrum, to where I seem like a Zen master when things don't go my way, and then I seem like a 2-year-old throwing a tantrum when things don't go my way. Whichever version of Mitch you're getting, it's a real version. It's just like on whichever end you're working with,
Do you feel, because I'm getting the vibe here, do you feel like even regardless of whatever it is that's happening in the world on any spectrum, do you feel like you're in the best place that you've ever been as far as an artist, mentally, physically? Like, do you feel like you've taken the last 10 months or however long we've been inside of the COVID bubble? Do you feel like you are in the best place that you've been in as an artist and as a human?
I feel like that's 100% true. Over the spectrum of everything: health, wellness, mental health, spiritual health, if there is such a thing, across the board. We've never been so creative. We have never been so alive. We've never been so appreciative. We've never been so loving towards each other. We probably haven't been this loving towards each other since we were kids. We met when we were 18, 19 years old. And we were, Phil and I were in love back then. You know what I mean? Like, we were going to the beach and throwing our guitars open.
Yeah.
And,
dude, I've heard this. I can't remember what number it was. It was apartment
14. 14. I mean, every day seemed magical. Yeah. Well, we've been together for a really long time. So, like, guess what? You see the shit that isn't so magical. And I think we had 2 paths. I think we had 2 paths when this started. And one path was to be really incredibly discouraged. And like, because we were supposed to go on tour with our good friends in Hinder. They were doing the 15-year anniversary of their Extreme Behavior record. And we were planning this big tour. The whole thing was sold out. It was going to be really massive. And of course, we're really looking forward to that. We got in the studio really early last year and recorded an EP with Keith Nelson from Buck Cherry in Madden Studios with the Good Charlotte guys. And, I'm running into like Machine Gun Kelly and Youngblood while we're making sandwiches in the kitchen and all that kind of stuff. And you have all this stuff that's ramping up and it's like, we're going out on tour. We're going to put out this record and blah, blah, blah. And then the world just like, boom. And I really do believe that there are two paths. There were two paths in this. There was the path where Mitch and Phil were waking up every day at each other's throats, not knowing what to do, not knowing where to go, and everything falling apart. And then there's that other path that we just laughed and said, the world just opened up to us and we're allowed to create every day. And when we had that mentality in our heart, then we found this house in Joshua Tree. Then we built a studio in the house in Joshua Tree. Then we started making records out of it. We made demos. And then we were like, man, these sound really good. So we started sending them to our producers that we've worked with before. And be like, hey, are you interested in getting your hands on this track? And they would be like, absolutely not. Whatever you're doing, don't stop doing it.
Right.
I don't want you coming into my studio and me ruining what you guys are doing. And we realized that we had something truly magical on our hands. The stuff that we're making here is like the best stuff we've ever written, the best stuff we've ever recorded, the best sounding stuff we've ever had. And it's we are talented individuals, and we are. But what it stemmed from was a mindset in the beginning that we had to look at each other and be like, okay, we love each other. We want to stay together. We love this music. We want people to hear it. And we want to be there for the Wayland Warriors, period. That was it. That was the intention. And we went into, how do we find the best way to connect with the Warriors, along with what's the best plan for getting this music recorded and put out. And then there was no looking back. Then, you're putting on the mask whenever you're going in a store or something. But other than that, like, we're not watching the news. We're not paying attention to the things that are possibly going to interrupt our creativity. And so we just stayed together and created. And it's been the greatest time of our lives. I don't want to say, hey, Phil, is this the greatest time of your life? But I guarantee you it's the same, man. Like, because we talk about it, like when we're sitting around the campfire after a day working, I'll never forget Cooper. And I may tell this story for the next 50 years, but we were working on a couple of the tracks in here really early on in the process. And we started realizing what we had, whether anyone hears it or not, we're just proud that it is our best work. Right.
Right.
And we're sitting around the monitors and we're listening to this thing and we both break out and start crying, like sobbing, and we're holding each other like this, like, because we're so in love with the moment and with the process that we're in, and we're listening to the best music that we've ever made, and we're making it on our own. And I don't think anybody can replace that.
I don't know if like I said, we've known each other for 10 years, and you've always been like a very super positive, super outgoing and uplifting individual. And that's just, I think that's part of who you are. But I don't know that in any of our conversations that I've ever seen you in a place that you are right now.
I would agree with you. I would agree, like, hands down, 100%. I'm firing on all cylinders. I'm like,
dude,
oh man, I'm an 8-cylinder Toyota Camry just ready to roll right now.
Boom. 70 miles a gallon. We're fucking going down the highway.
Right, man. They don't make much noise, but they get you where you want to go, and they last a long time, right?
Yeah, they're like a half a decibel above a Tesla. You kind of hear it, but not even. No, maybe a little.
You're like, what is that? Oh, that's a Toyota Camry.
That's a Camry. Yeah, it's running clean, man.
Yeah. No, man, we're happy, and I think we just found a really cool flow and a really cool creative flow within each other. We're really lucky to have Alyssa, Fearless Entertainment, as our management. She's heads and shoulders just keeps us heads and shoulders above our lower versions of ourselves and our business selves. And, you know, on my worst days at 9:00 when I'm meeting with my team, I'm like, man, it doesn't get any better than this. Like, I'm like pissed about something that happened last night, and it's just so trivial compared to the joy and the love that I'm feeling for this right now, you know? So I'm really excited for, everything's in mixing and mastering right now. We don't have a plan for release. Obviously that'll come in a little bit, but we just couldn't be more excited to start sharing this music with the Wayland Warriors and with the rest of the world for sure.
Mitch, it's always great to talk to you.
A joy, Cooper. Thank you for having me.
On this particular occasion, I think the perfect way to wrap up what has now been over 3 hours of this show, with a lot of conversation with a lot of great people. I think the message that you have portrayed, that you've brought into this conversation, not just for artists, but really for anybody who's watching, or if you're going to listen to this podcast later, you're going to catch a clip of this on Twitch. I think a lot of things that you've said, just because of how people have had a tendency to react to the situation that everybody's under, a lot of the things that you said can be taken and implemented into somebody's life and make them immensely better. I think you've said a lot of things that are so positive and are so uplifting and can put people in a better mindset. And despite the creativity, because I can't even, I'm imagining this fucking room of you and Phil together, and it's like, it's just free and clear, and there's no bullshit, and it
really isn't. It's amazing.
Let's just make some magic happen. But I'm just so fucking happy for you, dude. I can't even begin to describe it, man.
I'm excited for you to hear the music, and when everything's open up, I just want you to know, Coop, we've got an extra bedroom. You are more than welcome to come visit anytime. We go on hikes. We have to me, it's I would love to be closer to an ocean, but I am smitten every day of my life when I wake up here.
Yeah, I'll take you up on that, Mitch.
Yeah, come on out, man. It's a lot of fun.
Thank you, brother. Much love to Phil and Alyssa and the entire team. You guys are it makes me happy. Makes my heart happy to hear how.
Thank you, man. I love you. Appreciate you very much. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much, Mitch. Take care of yourself.
Yeah, you too.
There you go. Mitch Arnold from Wayland on the program. Thank you all. It has been a fantastic debut episode of Cooperville Live. We're over 3 hours now, 3 hours and 6 minutes. It's been great. Thank you to all of my guests who were on the show today. Dr. J. LaGuardia, Mike from The Violent, Matt, Jimmy James. Good luck at the show tonight, brother. Down in Houston from Blacktop Mojo. Phil from Max-Bilt. Better late than never, my friend, but you made it, and I'm so happy that you did. AP, Adrian Patrick of Otherwise. Thank you, my friend. Great catching up with you. Follow those guys on Twitch. They do some funny ass stuff and some fun things interacted on Twitch. Jymmy Tollard from The Lonely Ones. Check out their new single that just dropped today. It is called Change the Station. It's available on all streaming platforms. Search for The Lonely Ones. Jymmy, great chatting with him. Neal Middleton of Royal Bliss. Good luck at your show tonight down there in Salt Lake. Vince from Nuisance. I appreciate you. And of course, my last guest of the show, Mitch Arnold of Wayland, doing great things out there in Josh Petrie, California. And thanks to you, all of you, for tuning in on whatever platform. Thank you for all the follows, for all the comments, for being a part of it. We'll be back at it on Monday, and we'll have plenty of audio clips and videos coming out on all the social media platforms. So if you missed any of it, you can watch it again and keep on interacting, man. We're just going to grow from here. So thank you for the time. Enjoy your weekend. If you're in the Midwest, beware of the polar vortex. It's going to be cold as fuck this weekend, but stay happy. Good seeing y'all. Take care of yourselves. Have a good weekend.